Bienvenidos a la My Crippled Friend podcast. Este es episodio 38. How's my
Good
Spanish?
job.
That's
Good
pretty
job.
good, yeah?
I don't know how to say crippled in Spanish either. I was thinking about it when you
Cripple.
said. I was like, how do you say
I
crippled in
guess,
Spanish?
yeah, I said it in English. I guess it'd be like me crippled amigo.
I think it'd be mi amigo crippled.
All right. Yeah, because like English is the only one that puts the adjective before the noun,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. But anyways, that was my fucking broken Spanish
That was good.
level, cheated my way through high school Spanish
Well,
kind of thing.
you got one up on me. They told me I couldn't take Spanish because I couldn't pass English
Oh, for real?
in high
Damn.
school. I went to my guidance counselor. I was like, yeah, I want to switch a class. Can I get Spanish as my one of my classes? And they're like, well, last year you got a D in English, and you failed it the last 2 years before that. So if you can't speak English, I don't think you should be able to do Spanish.
What was your foreign language in high school?
I didn't take one.
Oh, you didn't have to take one?
No.
Oh, shit.
Nah, my high school's pretty shitty.
If I could go back, man, I would tell myself to take Spanish a lot more seriously because I feel like it's a skill I wish I had.
So I played basketball growing up. So I had a scholarship to Pine Castle.
College?
No, it was a high school. It was a Christian academy,
But you had a
but
scholarship?
it was a
Oh,
sports scholarship.
so they
and-
give you like a discount on the tuition.
No, they pay for the whole tuition and everything.
Oh, no shit. That's
And,
fucking great.
I thought about it and I was like, yeah, but I want to be with my friends. Me and Leanne just started dating, and I'm like, And I passed it over. If I would go back, I'd be like, dude, don't be a dumbass. Take the fucking scholarship.
Yeah, I would imagine the school was pretty
It's
high
dope, man.
level.
It was I mean, not as high level as you see these when you look on TV on ESPN. And
You shove that mic a little closer if you want.
and you see these kids of Dwayne Wade's.
Yeah.
Wade's kids, LeBron James kids, not at that high level, but it was definitely at a higher level than I was playing already. So
Yeah.
I
We
should've done it.
Oh, go ahead.
I definitely should have done it.
Oh, yeah. We when I was in high school, we played Kevin Love's team twice.
Yeah,
Or at least because I was a junior and senior, so we played
Yeah.
Kevin Love's school. They were in our division.
when I was
in our league.
when I was a sophomore, we played Amir Stoudemire,
Oh yeah,
and he whooped our ass.
I bet. I didn't know he was a Florida boy.
Yeah, he's from Cypress Creek,
Oh no shit.
which is the one of my best friends is the school he graduated from.
Oh yeah.
Cypress Creek. It's only
Okay.
45 minutes away from my school,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he
He's
whooped our
like
ass.
Kevin Love went to Lake Oswego, which is
Okay.
like the kind of swank part of Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see a lot of like Mercedes and Bentleys and shit. And,
That's so in Orlando. That's Windermere.
okay.
So driving back from Orlando when we were at Disney not too long ago, we passed it, and I was telling Strap, I was like, yeah, this is Windermere. I was like, this is where Shaq has a house, Kobe, not Kobe,
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady, they all have houses there, Tiger Woods as well.
Yeah.
And I used to play one of their AAU teams there, and these kids would just roll into this school in Beamers, Bentleys.
Yeah.
One of these kids had a Hummer, and I'm like, and here I am, I'm from the ghetto of Orlando, and I'm like,
Yeah. So our school in our like league, I guess, we had 3 of like the richest high schools in the state, and then like Oregon City, where I'm from, is kind of a weird place because it's like an old mill town. It's like if you ever beat the Oregon Trail,
okay,
you end up in Oregon City, and some of the trailers are still there, and it's kind of weird because it's got like suburbs, but then the high school kind of pulls in from different like rural communities.
yeah,
So there's like Redland and Beaver Creek. So we got a bunch of farm kids too. So you'll see, a bunch of suburban kids, and then like all the hicks from, like
yeah. My
Redland
high
and shit.
school was like probably 80% Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was definitely one of the more
Fights every day.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Fights every day. I remember this one kid. He came to school, and class hasn't even started. He came up and just like stabbed this kid a few times. I'm like,
Oh
what the
shit!
fuck? I was like, the bell hasn't even rung. What the
I
fuck's
don't
going
think
on?
we've had any stabbings.
Yeah, I
But
mean, we had
we had a couple good fights.
I call them fake gangs because they weren't. I mean, I'm originally from New York, so I used to go to New York every year and see, these Bloods and Crips, shootouts and stuff like that. And then, so they
How long
had.
did you live in New York?
I didn't. I only lived in New York for 2 years, and I moved here. But my aunt, my father's side of the family, they lived there. So,
How old were you though?
I moved when I was 2.
Okay.
I moved when I was 2 from New York to Orlando, and lived in Orlando until I was 19, and then I left for the army.
Yeah. What while we're just still talking about Florida, like what was it like growing up down here?
I mean, it was pretty sweet. I mean, the beach was only 45 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, cuz it was just like this is Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've pretty much have like been in Orlando this entire month and have circumnavigated the entire state.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like I got a pretty good connection to it now.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, most people think Florida is the retirement state, which we do have a lot of old people.
Oh,
We
for
definitely
sure.
do, but
yeah.
there's definitely a lot of partying here in Florida too, especially with like spring break. You have Daytona,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Panama
always interested
City.
in.
We
is
have
just
Clearwater here.
like I feel like just growing up here, because the weather is just fucking nice all the time.
All
There's
year.
beautiful girls everywhere, and it just like what's the real like struggle? You know what I mean? Like
I'd say probably, for sure, the real struggle would probably be, especially when you're that young, is just money wise.
yeah, right.
Especially coming from on East Orlando, money wise. Um, that and I mean, if you really want to make it, in my opinion, if you want to make it, all my friends that are in high school, only a handful of them are what I would consider successful. If not, they're working some kind of job that probably isn't going to lead to anywhere.
Florida's just kind of weird because it's like the economy of it, like you sell the weather.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like there's no, but outside of like oranges, there's real no like industry.
I mean, we export.
Yeah.
We actually now strawberries too.
Yeah.
Here in Plant City, they have.
Dude, I just found out about the Plant City fucking strawberry festival.
Yeah,
It ended up on the front page of Reddit somehow.
Yeah,
they talk about this festival.
Yeah, they have strawberries too, oranges. I mean, we do quite a bit of stuff. Actually, don't quote me on this, but I think Florida is probably the biggest export next to Texas of beef too.
I haven't seen very many like cattle farms out where I'm.
Where were you at?
I pretty much drove the entire like outer rim.
Were you on the east or the west?
Both.
Okay, so like here on the west, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Name a big city that's in the cattle.
Ocala.
Okay, yeah.
Ocala is just farm country. Same thing with St. Cloud.
I guess because when I drive through like the cattle yards, like in like Wyoming or Colorado or like Texas, even California, like you definitely smell it. You're just like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I guess I haven't got hit with that smell.
No, you're not gonna hit that smell either. Most of the cattle farms are kind of away from the highways.
Okay.
But like here around my house, we're in Wesley Chapel. We have 4.
Yeah.
You probably came in 56, and you passed 2 of them right there on either side. There's cattle farms on either side. Being it was probably dark, so you probably didn't see any. And then they have this one mall that's called the Wiregrass Mall.
Yeah.
On 56, and literally right next to it is a cow farm.
Huh. Because like they say like California has the happiest cows, but now knowing that, like I'd be like, man, I'd rather be a cow in Florida. I think.
Why would they say California has the happiest cows?
Just because the weather. It was like their joke.
Weather.
It was their stab towards like Wisconsin.
Okay.
About California cheese versus Wisconsin cheese. It's like happy. I think it's like good cheese comes from happy cows.
I've never heard of that one, really.
It was a big
probably a West Coast
it was a
thing.
big marketing campaign they had. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Cali. Cali's nice. It's
I love the vibe.
Yeah, it definitely has a cool vibe, different
I was
vibe.
talking with Scrap about like just the comparisons. Like, would you rather live in like San Diego or Tampa? Because he was talking, because like when I first landed in Tampa earlier this month, I was like, fuck, it's nice here, especially coming down from like Chicago.
Oh,
I
for
was just
sure.
like, you know what? It's fucking. I might fucking have to give Florida a second thought. But the honeymoon kind of wore off real quick once I was just like, there's just so many damn people.
Well, especially when you went towards Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is just packed.
Yeah.
Orlando is
Dude, how
crazy
many
packed.
fucking international airports are in that area?
You have Fort Lauderdale, West Palm,
Yeah.
Miami. Um,
Those were the three that I knew.
yeah,
But
and
even
then
that, it's just like within 30 miles of each other.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah, you'll definitely hit from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. I believe it's an hour, and then you have West Palm right in the middle.
oh,
So,
dude, fucking, the last time we went to the West Palm tournament, me and my brother Teddy wanted to go out to Key West,
oh yeah,
and I think it took us like 7 hours.
7 hours
Yeah.
to hit the last island.
Yeah, we went all the way to Key West. We stayed
Yeah,
right
yeah.
on Duval,
Oh,
which was
nice.
really funny because it's like I didn't realize that there were like that many gay people down
Oh
there.
yeah, Duval's a huge gay
Yeah.
parade.
So we left the hotel and we wanted to go to this one restaurant that was on it was on Diners, Dives, and Drives.
Okay.
And so we went, I guess it would be south on Duval, which was like going into the heart of
Oh yeah,
it.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because that's like, I mean, at that point, like the crosswalks were all rainbow colored and everything.
Oh,
And I was like, and then I didn't figure it out until the next day, but I was like, dude, all the bars and shit are north. Like,
yeah.
fuck, we fucked up.
So I have a funny story of my first time ever going to Key West. So I was like probably like 9 or 10, and I remember my kindergarten teacher's name. Her name is Miss Rose, and we're walking down the strip, and I'm like 9 or 10, and I look to the left, and here's Miss Rose at the bar.
Shout out Miss Rose.
Miss Rose was at the bar, and she had a drink, and she was like,
Just wearing, you remember what she was wearing?
and no, not at all. And then
Daisy Dukes.
I just remember her face. Her face turned red. She was like, "Oh shit! I just seen one of my kindergarten kids,
That's awesome.
kids at freaking Key West," and she wasn't drunk, but she was definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I haven't actually like gone out and like drinking out there because the first time I went out there with Teddy was in, like 2016, and I was I just picked up like a UTI at the tournament,
Oh shit!
so I was like on the way there, I was driving and I was like, yo, I gotta pull over and piss, and then fucking pull over, do my thing, and then like 30 minutes later, be like, fuck, I gotta pull over and piss again. I was pissing out like 100 milliliters.
Yeah,
So then
it's
I was
just
just like,
UTA trying to get out of
I
you.
was like, yo, Teddy, you might have to drive. And then I started running low on catheters,
Oh shit!
'cause I'm a fucking dumbass, and I'll bring just as many catheters as I think
Oh no, I
I
always
need.
bring extra.
Yeah, now I do. Yeah,
Always.
now I'm like, I'm gonna do 2 extra, and then I'm gonna stuff my bag as much as I can.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so back in 2016 when I was a fucking dumbass, uh, yeah, I ended up making it back home. We were living in Alabama at the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Made it back home with a catheter that I had like reused maybe 3 times.
Oh shit!
But I was reusing it for like, I mean, eight, 9 times.
Holy shit!
Yeah, because well, after Key West we stopped in Miami.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wasn't drinking then, and then this past week, while we were just doing our big tour to Florida, um, I had the marathon the
Yeah,
next
Fort
day,
Lauderdale.
so I was like, I'm not gonna fucking.
You know, I've
No point in getting fucked up before a marathon. That's just stupid.
no, yeah, that's not smart. Probably of course, the first time I went there, I was not drinking. I was like 9 years old. So, um, and then this last time I went, I don't know. I guess it's just because I don't drink during season mainly. So
Yeah.
I just kind of didn't even have a lick of alcohol over there either. I've
I
only been 2 or 3 times, and
this just this past year, I've definitely have drinking more. I'd say in the past 3 years, I've maybe have might have a drink at dinner, like
yeah,
once, less than once a month. Um, just 'cause it's like
yeah. I mean, that's
it's just
normal.
Yeah. I mean, ever since especially if I'm at home, like I'd rather just smoke weed.
I agree. You don't really get a hangover at the end of the next day.
Yeah, your bladder's not fucked
Yeah,
up.
I
Like
agree.
you don't make bad decisions. You don't fucking
Sometimes people
try to
do.
fight people.
Sometimes people do too.
Not on weed.
Yeah, sometimes.
I might make stupid decisions.
That cause you to get into a fight sometimes.
No, I don't think I've ever. I'm actually never aggressive with
I'm
weed.
not an aggressive smoker either.
Yeah.
It just mellows me out. But
I might be like a instigator of shit.
for sure.
Like if shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you ain't gonna punch him.
yeah. It's like, dude, that guy's over there talking shit.
I
Like,
bet you won't swing.
yeah.
Yeah. I had a buddy that was like that. Army buddy. He's actually a warrant officer now.
Right on.
Yeah. I remember where he was stationed with me in Alabama too. He's actually my roommate for a little while. And we went to this bar and he got shit faced. And he was instigating a fight
Where were you guys at?
in Dothan.
Okay.
Dothan.
Okay.
Well, actually, we were in Enterprise, but most people don't know Enterprise. It's this little
Most
city.
people don't know Dothan.
Yeah. But you'll know Dothan before Enterprise. And we went to this bar that they would do like 50-cent wings on Thursday, I believe it was.
Hell yeah.
And so we went to this bar and he got shit faced. And then sure enough, he's sitting there starting shit with this dude. And he was about to fight, but he wasn't about to fight. I was about to fight because he's just an instigator
Right.
that doesn't fight. And then
Those guys are the worst.
yeah, and then Leanne just pulls us both out, and she's like, "What the fuck is your guys' problem?" I'm like, "The guy was starting shit with Mondo." And then the next day, obviously 2020,
That's funny. I had a friend named Mondo too.
and he's like Mondo, why the fuck you always start shit? We're fucking hanging with you, but then I hear you talking to these other guys, and every time you guys go out drinking, you're having a fucking blast. And he was like, "'Cause I know you got my back, bro." I'm like,
Hey, respect.
You're right.
Yeah, respect.
I got
Yeah.
your back for sure." And he was like, I was like, "Dude, but you can't start shit with everybody because I'm the one who ends up fighting and you just fucking watch the fight."
Right. Those guys.
But I love that kid. He's definitely. I was stationed with him in Korea, and then right after Korea, I was stationed with him in Alabama too.
Yeah. One thing I really respect about you, man, is you're like such a proud soldier.
Oh man,
Like,
I loved it.
I feel like you had one of the best experiences, like our military experiences.
I would say for sure.
out of
I
any
mean,
of, like our group of friends for sure.
and I would say that's me just having pride in the Army.
Yeah.
Because I did not have, out of the 7.5 years I was in, I probably had 2 good leaders. Like
Yeah.
everybody else was just shitty.
Okay.
And instead of going the shitty route like most of my leaders, I just kind of found out what made them shitty. And when I was in their shoes, I decided not to do that shitty stuff. Like,
yeah.
I took pride in the NCO creed, and that's how I lived my life. That's
Can you still recite it?
I cannot. to be honest with you.
How much pride did you really take, though?
I mean, I was that asshole soldier when I was younger, when I was a private, that would get the NCO creed, and there was this one NCO. He was just he was shitty. There's actually 2 of them, and I would highlight the parts of the NCO creed that they did not do. One was like treat my soldiers with respect and stuff like that, and I would highlight that shit, and those 2 guys would get so pissed off. And then we had 2 other NCOs there, and they're like, "Bro, they're not writing your name on it, so if you feel like it's you, then maybe that tells you something about yourself."
Yeah.
And then then I look back on it when I became an NCO, and I was like, man, if I had me as a soldier, I'd kick myself out of the fucking Army.
Right.
Because there's another one of the same NCOs. He was going through some shit, and then he was like, "Hey man, do push-ups," and I was like, "Go fuck yourself! I'm not doing push-ups."
What rank were you at this point?
Private.
Okay.
I was a
Yeah,
private.
I mean, but even then.
He was a staff sergeant, and I'm like, "Go fuck yourself!
Yeah.
I'm not doing push-ups." And then my platoon sergeant was there, and he was like, he made everybody get down and do push-ups, and I'm like, I'm not fucking doing push-ups, man. I don't give a fuck if you make these guys do push-ups. And then he came. My platoon sergeant sends him out of the room, and then this guy, he grabs his cell phone and tosses it, like chucks it, and makes a fucking hole into the wall, and it's like a perfect phone hole.
It's just like a rectangle.
For
like
sure, man.
iPhone 4 or whatever.
And then it didn't like go straight; it landed sideways into the wall. So like it literally was like a boomerang, just like
Yeah.
it just right into the wall.
You feel the huck a phone nowadays,
Yeah.
man.
And then he met my platoon sergeant made everybody get up, and then he was like, "Why didn't you do the push-ups?" I was like, "Cause I'm not gonna listen to that fuck face." It was like, he's going through some shit and he's taking that out on us. That's not fucking fair. And the part of me not doing the push-ups, obviously, I would not do. I would not take as an NCO, but I was the NCO that listened to the soldiers, and if they're saying like, "Hey, man, this isn't fair," I either explained on why my reasoning was it, or I tell them like, all right, I got you, I'll make it, I'll change some shit.
Yeah.
And then I've had soldiers be like, "Yeah, he's the coolest NCO that you could hang out with," like, because he's always chilled at some points, and then I've had other soldiers be like, "Yo, he's the biggest asshole I've ever fucking met." As a matter of fact, one of the soldiers that was with me in my car accident, if you talk to her, she'll tell you, she's like, "John Rodriguez, yeah, I fucking hated that guy. Like, he was an asshole." But once I was a training NCO, and she was like 4 months behind in her training, and I was an asshole to make sure she got her training done.
Yeah.
And then once she was caught back up and she got her, because I was the air traffic controller, we have certain tower ratings, and she got her tower rating. I loosened the reins and just kind of let them develop as their own.
The
soldiers.
I mean, in my very short career in the Marines, my favorite NCOs, the ones that I respected the most, were just fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to be, is fair.
And it was like, hey, you guys fucked up and miss, libo call or fucked up on field day. So we got to do this shit now. And we're going to go to the beach. We're going to have a little run. But it was like, it was an understanding, like, okay, yeah, he's totally right. Like, this was expected of me. We fucked up. And these are the consequences.
Yeah, and then for sure. I mean, I've had NCOs. He was a new guy when I was in Korea, and I was actually training NCO as a private in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, so we kind of, ATC is a very small community, and we were short-handed. So they're like, "All right, who wants to be the training NCO?" And they looked at 4 fucking privates. And, of course, all the privates were like, "No." And I was like, "Well, fuck it, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, well, if you're going to do this, that means you're in charge of the outside training and all the paperwork, because that's the slot you're filling." And I'm like, "All right, fine. I'll figure shit out." So me and my buddy, Joe, we both went to AIT together, or MOS qualification school. And we just kind of made a deal. We're like, "Hey, man, this is what we're going to do. I'll do all the fucking paper pushing, even though I don't like doing paper pushing, but I'll do the paper pushing, and you do the outside training."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, I dig that." And we're both privates, and he was like, we got so proficient at that system that we had that this one NCO, he was an E6 promotable, about to be an E7, and he got there.
Is it the same in the Army as it is in the Marines, where that jump from E6 to E7 is almost like middle management to upper management?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
In a war standpoint, your E5 would be a team leader.
Yeah.
E6 would be a squad leader, and your E7 would be a platoon leader.
Okay.
Or platoon sergeant.
Yeah.
So then he was about to make that jump, and me doing my training stuff, I'm like, "Hey, man, you got to know how to do this, this, and this, and this." And they got points to where, you got to get your hands dirty. And he was like, "I'm not doing that shit." And then we're like, "All right, fine, don't do it. I'm not going to argue with this guy." Then we're putting up this antenna So it's a 50-foot mast antenna, and we're sitting on top of a mountain, and he puts this fucking antenna all the way up.
Huh.
And I look at him, I'm like, hey, man, you got to lower that shit down. He was like, no, the TM says that it has to go up 50 feet for it to work properly. I'm like, okay, yeah, but the TM doesn't account for the weather, and it gets windy up here. And he's like, I'm going to listen to the TM. I'm like, all right. And my platoon leader, who's a warrant officer, he was sitting there, and he goes up to this guy, and he was like, you do know that they pretty much run your whole operation. Those two guys that told you should probably lower it down run this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, your sergeants that are sitting over there, they don't do shit. These guys run everything. They're like, all right. He's like, oh, no, but the TM says this. All right. 20 minutes later, a big gust of wind comes and snaps the fucking antenna in half.
How much does one of those things cost?
I think it's like 10 grand.
Okay. Not a big hit, but even then.
Yeah, it's not a big hit when the platoon leader goes up to the E6 and is like, hey, that antenna you put up broke, so we're going to dock your pay for it.
Oh, shit. For 10 G's? That's a couple fucking pay periods.
That's 2 pay periods. And he's like, well, what? The TM says, he's like, yeah, but you had 2 guys who've been doing this for almost 2 years already come up and tell you. One of them is the acting training NCO.
Yeah.
And you decided not to listen to them because you outranked them. It's like, so
Yeah.
we're going to dock your pay for it now. And my platoon leader, he was a E7 before he became a warrant officer, so he was super cool, understood the whole private to NCO thing because that's what he did before he became a warrant officer. And, yeah, he docked that dude's pay. He was pissed. Fucking pissed. But anytime we're like, hey, man, you shouldn't do this, he decided, he was like, all right. And then one of the things that I said he was getting his hands dirty was cleaning a pot-belly stove. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't think
So
I
it's
do.
a space heater that runs off of JP8.
Okay.
And it's back in like Vietnam era.
All right.
And you know, I told him to clean it one time. And he was like, nah. I was like, well, you got to know how to take it apart and clean it.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm not doing it. All right. We got back. Platoon leader was like, hey, go clean the pot-belly stove. And he's not going to tell an officer no. So
Right.
he's like, all right. He had to clean that pot-belly, and it fucked up his whole uniform and shit. It's like, that's what you get, man.
Let's rewind it real quick. Why did you want to join the Army?
So originally, I was a firefighter. I was a firefighter in Florida.
This is okay. So let's rewind it even further. What after you graduated high school, what was your plan?
Right after I graduated high school, I went right into firefighting school.
Okay.
I was actually 17 years old when I started firefighting school.
Yeah.
And I'm doing firefighting school. I get done. I snag a little job. Well, I snag a job with OFD, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm working. I'm like in that training period, and then
Orlando Fire Department.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm in that training period, and they're like, hey, there's a recession started.
What year was this?
09?
Okay.
No,
Because
actually, I'm lying.
when did you graduate? 08?
07. It was
Okay.
actually probably midway 08.
It hit right around.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got injured summer 08.
Yeah, they said it hit in September 08. So,
I remember going through all that shit with the election
Yeah.
and everything.
and then I get there, and I'm like, yeah. They're like, you have to lay all the new hires off in order to retain our benefits, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, next plan. I start putting out my application all over Florida. Nobody's hiring. Oh. And then my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, he was an Air Force guy, and he's like, hey, why don't you try the military? I'm like, I'm not feeling that right now. He's like, well, you can get in, get a job that will benefit you when you get out.
You never considered it like in high school or anything?
No,
Was it always
never.
Firefighter.
I
was
mean, I
kind
took
of
the
goal?
ASVAB. I took the ASVAB.
I think we all took the ASVAB.
We took that. I took the ASVAB because they
It
were
was
giving
required,
extra credit.
right?
No, not for me. It was they just gave us extra credit for it. So I'm like, okay.
Oh shit!
And I was trying to graduate, so I was like, all right, I'll take it.
I remember taking the ASVAB like as a huge, like I think the entire senior class did. We all went to the cafeteria, and there was a bunch of fucking army guys in uniform, and
Yeah.
there were some kids that were protesting it, like a bunch of like these punk rock kids that were like anti-war, and
Yeah.
they were like they protested it and they didn't want to take the ASVAB and all that. And I was just like, I'm just gonna take it because I want to see, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And then so I took the ASVAB. I scored pretty well. My
I think I want to say I don't want to brag because I need to look at my DD-214, but I was a 98 percentile
yeah,
kind of guy.
same here. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And then he was like, well, look, air traffic controllers, they have, it's a hard school and it's a tough burnout rate, but you can get in. They can give you that training, and of course, he meant the Air Force. He's like, they give you that training and you could get out and make, in some airports it's 6 figures. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm like, all right, well, I'll give it,
and it's still like a highly sought after profession.
Oh, for sure.
Right, even today.
It's actually the highest paying profession without a college degree.
Yeah.
Because you don't need a college degree to do it. You just need to pass ATC school.
Right.
And right now I think it's, depending on the airport, last I checked, Miami was like at 180 grand starting. And I'm like, not Miami, excuse me, Atlanta. 180
even
grand
then,
starting. And I'm like,
yeah, and then cost of living in Georgia ain't that bad.
Exactly. And then
yeah, that's baller money for Georgia.
Yeah. And then so I looked at my options. I looked at the Marines. I looked at the Navy. At this point, I was just like, okay, well, I need to make money.
You didn't think about like CFR or anything?
I didn't really. I looked at everyone: Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army.
I'm saying like as an MOS, like crash fire rescue.
Well,
like old fucking Stickman Birch.
So yeah, when I got in, so at this point I was looking at the highest. It's gonna sound pretty selfish of me. That pretty much the highest bonus.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And the Florida National Guard was giving it, and they had a program that was called Active First. So I went in. The recruiter assured me I was going to get firefighting. He was like, you're going to get firefighting. I was like, all right, I got firefighting. I got into my contract. I go to sign up in MEPS. And right after I signed my contract, they're like, hey, so we are civilizing firefighting. You have, here are your options.
Contracting it out.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, okay, so what are my options? There is combat scuba diver, which I think would have been a badass job
for the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on the school.
Yeah.
Because it's out in Key West.
Yeah.
It's dope as fuck. I met a guy on a dive trip, who was he's an ex-Navy diver for like 17 years, and then now he works out of Tennessee, and is a contractor and trains special forces guys diving, like specific like cave and river operations and shit. Yeah, it's dope as fuck.
Yeah, and of course, they offer me infantry and stuff like that, and I was like, well, the only one I really recognize is air traffic control. So I was like, all right.
You had no interest in the infantry?
Not because at that point I didn't necessarily have. I didn't really know what pride for your country was at that point.
Okay.
I grew up
in it to win it.
Yeah, I'm just there to get out of Florida and see what's out there, and then
which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And I joined, and probably by the time I got a basic training, I loved my country at that point. They instill that pride. They teach you some of that history, and you see what the heroes throughout history for the United States did for our country. And
I like the tradition.
Yeah,
and that being able to call yourself a part of the club.
Oh, for sure.
And saying, hey, like I became a part of something bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And like, enlisted, signed up for an X number of years in service of.
Oh, for sure.
A thing that we call America.
Yeah. And then at that point, I I started, like I said, that patriotism started growing in me for sure. And then I got to MOS school. We call it AIT, and we're there for close to 6 months. And then
Hold up, I'm gonna stop you right there. When you said that with like the whole patriotism thing, like before that, did you, as a Puerto Rican, did you consider Puerto Rican first, or did you consider yourself an American first? Because a big like misconception now is, especially like with the president that we have, and with the shit that's been going on with Puerto Rico, it's like I feel like a lot of Americans don't realize that Puerto Ricans are just as American
as
as
we are, as everybody
any
else, for sure.
Floridian, as any Oregonian, as any New Yorker.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know?
And at that point,
And a lot of people don't realize that the military, a
huge
huge
part
portion,
of Puerto Rican,
right?
a huge portion.
I'd
of it.
say right after natives
Yeah,
per the population.
for sure.
I mean, because like natives, I think it's like something like 90%.
Yeah.
But I would say Puerto Ricans are right up there.
I mean, if you had the chance to go to the Korean War Museum, and on there they have it based off your state.
Where is this?
In the Korean War Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have it based off your state on people who served, and my grandfather was in the Korean War, so of course I went to Puerto Rico, and I found his name, and yeah, Puerto Rico had so many lines.
Yeah, man. I
was-
remember seeing that on the pillars.
and I was
just
like, this is insane. I didn't think there were so many Puerto Ricans that were in the Korean War. At this point I was fresh to the Army. I didn't know that much history of the Army. So when I got there, I was amazed at how many Puerto Ricans were there. And it instilled another sense of pride that these are essentially my countrymen as far as being Puerto Rican, and
yeah.
I'm part of that club as well. So
Oh yeah.
definitely, I wouldn't know. I don't know whether I would consider myself Puerto Rican or American first. I mean, I'm just an American. That's the way I see it. It's
Yeah.
because Puerto Ricans are Americans too. So it's just,
Right.
to me, they're one and the same.
Yeah, I mean, people ask me like, they're like, "Hey, what's your last name?" It's Vixe, and they're like, "Oh, what kind of last name is that?" I'm like, "Well, it's actually an American last name because there's only two of us in America." Because like
Yeah.
my dad, like my dad's last name is Chantavasai, but for whatever reason he chopped it short for me and my brother.
It's Vixe.
So it's just initially it was
Vasai.
Vasai, but white people fucked it up for so long
Vixe.
that it ended up becoming Vixe. So I'm Tim Vixe now. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be considered an American last name at that point. I mean, it was made in America.
100%. Yeah. I mean, any of the other, Mick, anything Mick, whatever.
For sure.
That's Irish, Scottish, and then it's like
Rodriguez, you're Hispanic.
yeah,
Your last name came from Spain.
Rodriguez, Hernandez.
Any of the S's, pretty much. Vasquez.
You guys do have a fucking monopoly on the Vezes. Yeah. No, man, that museum in
Korea was awesome. It really is.
it's not in Incheon. It's in Seoul.
It's in Seoul.
Yeah.
It's in Seoul. It's part of oh my God, Yongsang.
Yeah.
Camp Yongsang.
When I went there, my mom and I were coming back from Cambodia.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had, I think, maybe a 12-hour layover, and we flew into Incheon. And then I was like, well,
Take the train.
or
Or did a cab fuck you?
we ended up
A cab fucked you?
exactly, fucking exactly. We took a cab,
Wait,
and then
What out did she charge you?
the guy. Well, it was
180,000 won?
It was an old dude who looked like,
Odyssey.
I don't know, a math teacher, like a Korean math teacher maybe, and like we get up to the museum. He fucking points at the little meter thing. It's got a credit card reader. So I hit, I'm thinking, my mom gets out. She starts assembling my chair. I run my card. It's all in Korean, but when you're running a credit card machine, you know what the fuck's going on.
He
I hit,
probably charged you
you know, it says
108,000
this
won.
amount. I said, okay, get the fucking receipt, and then I get out, and then we're about to roll out, and he fucking stops me, and it's like, hey, you pay, and I was like, no, man, my receipt. I show him my receipt. He goes, no, you pay, you pay, and I was like, no, I pay. And my mom's just like, just fucking pay him again. I was like, no, fuck this guy. And he's like, you pay.
You paid him again.
And like we ended up just fucking double paying him.
180,000 won.
Whatever. It ended up being like, yeah, $160 because I think initially it was like $80.
Yeah. And then so like with those cabs, they have did he hit 2 buttons? Do you remember if he hit 2 buttons?
I don't think he hit any button because he made me run it, and then I fucking ran it again.
There's a start, and then there's another button that's...
Oh, on the meter.
Yeah. There's a start, and there's another button on that's all the way to the left. It's like a little circle, and it has a rabbit on it. And it like makes the meter run faster. So like when
bitch ass motherfucker.
So like, you know, obviously I lived there for 2 years, so I got gist of this pretty fast when I'm taking a cab from base or at Camp Humphreys to my house, and it's normally like it's normally maybe 5,000 won, and I'm paying 15,000 won, and I'm like, okay, what ought she do differently? And it's he hit that button to start, and then he hits the rabbit, and it just makes the meter run like double.
Why do they even fucking have that on the machine? Like, yeah.
I think you know what I think it really is. I think it's like you know how some cab companies charge an idle charge. So I think like you hit that when it's on idle. That way it makes the engine like it charges faster.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess they're just like beep beep.
Huh.
Sure enough, it's double. I'm like, so we used to go in the cabs, and we'd go in there, man. We'd fuck with Odyssey so bad, and we'd go in there and be like, hey, Odyssey, go to Seoul Station.
What's Odyssey?
Odyssey's like it's like Sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Odyssey, go to Suwon Station. He's like, okay. And he'd be like, don't hit that other button. I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
Don't hit that other button. And what we would do is if they would hit both buttons, like as we're getting in, we just hop right back out, go to the next cab.
Right. Yeah.
And some of them be like, no. I'm like, no, you trying to fuck us, Odyssey?
Yeah. You ever been to Bangkok?
I did go to Bangkok. My second year in Korea. That's when me and Leanne decided to venture out, and we were in Bangkok for we were like downtown Bangkok for 3 days, and then we were in the outskirts, like in the jungle and stuff like that around there. For 4.
Because the cab drivers there will try to fuck you too.
Yeah.
Where they try to flat rate you, and they'll be like, you know, it's
and tuk-tuk man too. They'll fuck you too.
Although the tuk-tuk ride is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for sure. Like we were staying in a hostel in downtown Bangkok, and excuse me, we looked up our route before we got there at their computer, and we're only maybe like 2 kilometers away. This motherfucker wanted to charge us like $50 for 2 kilometers. I'm like, no, go fuck yourself. I'll just go walk.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, no. I'll stop. He's like, no, man, you're trying to charge me ridiculous. He's like, okay. And he said some ridiculous number. And Leanne's like, I'm not paying you more. And she pulls out like 6,000 of their dollars. And he's like, she's like, I'm not paying you more than this.
I think it's baht.
Yeah, baht. Yeah, she pulls out like 6,000 baht. It's like, which is for us is like
probably
$5.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that. It's probably like $3. And he's like, okay. We're like, all right. And I was like, all right. 6,000 baht for a 5-minute ride. That's reasonable.
Tuk-tuk's an experience too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you know what I liked about Thailand is everything's kind of like centralized, especially like Bangkok. Like all the you know, the tourist attractions, your Lang Buddha, all that stuff is just like pretty much all right next to each other.
Did you go to I don't know, I always forget the name of the fucking stadium, but the big famous Thai boxing stadium?
No, but Leanne did surprise me while we were there. Did take me to a pro Thai boxing match.
dope as shit, right?
Oh, it was fucking
Amazing
awesome.
experience.
It was awesome. Me and Leanne, we sat down. You know, we're the guys who didn't. We're the Americans, so we
Yeah.
sit down in the first seat.
You guys are in
And
the front row?
yeah,
Yeah.
and these guys are like, they're sitting there, and they're like, and I'm like, what the fuck you hitting me for, dude? Like, bro, you probably whooped my ass because you're probably this guy's fucking brother or cousin. I was like, but I will fight you anyway. And then he's like, he's got money in his hand, and he's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck, man?
There's-
And then one of the guys, he comes up and he speaks English. He was like, you're in the betting section.
Yeah, start fucking.
Yeah, and I'm like,
It's like going to a strip club, sitting up at the table, and
Yeah.
not tossing dollar bills. Like
And
you're just
he's-
being rude.
yeah, you're like, he's like, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. They're like, well, they expect you to know that because you're sitting in their section where they bet. So if
Right.
you're not betting, then you got to go on that side. So me and Leanne got up, and we're still in the front row. It was just on the whole other side of the stadium, which was completely empty. There was nobody there. Everybody's over there betting.
The Muay Thai culture is so weird because it's like
Yeah, for sure.
dude, they start these kids when they're like 6 or 7,
And they're hitting each other legit. They don't even have like
and it's
face guards or nothing.
well, it's they like these families will send their young boys to these Muay Thai camps to become boxers to make money to send back home. Like, yeah, the
Ugh,
whole culture,
man.
man. Like,
I mean, that's just like in like Pacquiao.
yeah.
You know, he supports his whole country.
Oh, dude, that
Like-
guy's gonna run the place one day.
I mean, he's already the governor.
He's I think
mayor
he's
or
like
something
their
like that?
equivalent, like their senator or
Yeah.
something, which is like pretty
Yeah,
high up.
For
But yeah,
sure.
I really feel like if he's gonna fucking if he ran, like he could
Oh, for sure, he'd win.
totally do it.
He'd win
Yeah.
that shit.
Well, what do you think about that? We're gonna get so off track, but what do you think about Manny Pacquiao versus Conor McGregor?
I think it's gonna be a fun fight. I think Manny's gonna fuck him up.
If
But
if it happens in theory.
yeah, if it happens, I think it'd be a fun fight. One, they both have stopping power, and they
I don't think Pacquiao's gonna fuck around. He's gonna be like, this is a payday. I'm gonna feed a
Oh, for
village
sure.
for 10 years with
For
the money
sure.
I'm gonna make on this.
sure he's gonna build a
And
whole
he's like,
village.
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
you know?
like 2 rounds.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't.
Although, okay, I will say Pacquiao is a little bit older,
Yeah,
but I still wouldn't want to fucking take a hit.
I will say. I mean, it depends on what. If you get the McGregor that took out Aldo in seconds,
This is years ago.
I mean, it's still possible.
A lot of it was psychological, and what he just did to Donald Cerrone was pretty crazy.
I mean, for sure.
Um,
And you know, like I've been reading a lot of I read a lot of MMA articles and stuff like that, and they're all saying that, you know, all his coaches are saying that he's training like he wants it.
he's
again.
got a great coach. John Kavanaugh is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
And they, you know, that's and coming from a guy with that much money, and I was watching his interview with Ariel,
yeah,
and you know, he's like, you know, I had it all. He's like, I still have it all. He's like, but he said what I had to do is I had to dig deep and fall in love with the sport again.
yeah.
He's like, and I fell in love with it again. He was like, I'm not doing this for the money anymore because that's what I was doing it for the beginning was for the money. He was like, I'm
Yeah.
doing it for the love of this sport.
Which
And you know, a guy who
you
doesn't really
won't,
have much to
dude,
lose.
you won't find a bigger Conor McGregor hater than me.
I believe you.
But after watching the workups to that last fight, I was like, I got a respect for that guy. Because, dude, it's got to be so hard to come back and put yourself in the ring again when you have all that money.
Oh, for sure.
When you're so comfortable, when your grandchildren are going to be comfortable.
Yep.
It's like, why am I still doing this?
Yeah.
But it's like for the love of the sport. Like that's
that's
what I love.
For sure.
Is athletes that do it for the pure love of the sport.
I mean, and we
it's-
say it all the time. That's one of the reasons why, you know, we've spoken about Cerrone before. That's one of the reasons why we love Cerrone is because he does it
absolutely.
because he loves the sport.
He wants to do it. I mean, who else is fighting, 5, 6
6 times a year.
Back to backs, like, 3 weeks off, no
sure.
problem. Okay, you need me this date? Let's go.
For sure.
Oh, 2 weeks notice? No problem.
I mean, and you know, that's why I also like, fighters like Nick Diaz, the Diaz brothers,
I love them because they're down for their set.
for sure.
Like when they showed up to that Bellator fight and like some dude fucking got in some dude's face and they were just all down for each other.
Yeah,
And I
for
was
sure.
just like when the first time Nate Diaz Conor McGregor won, I watched that with Nikki.
Oh,
And
nice.
we decided, I was living in Birmingham. She was living at the compound. And we both had this weekend off. And we were like, why don't we just meet up in Louisville? It's about halfway.
Yeah.
And we met up in Louisville, we went to like Churchill Downs and all
Oh,
that
nice.
shit. And then we went downtown to 4th Street Live
Oh, yeah, 4th Street
or
Live.
or 7th Street.
Louisville. That's actually where I went to basic training.
Oh yeah.
Louisville.
Oh yeah.
Fort Knox.
Oh, right on. That's where I wanted to go because I wanted to be a tanker. Tank school at the time for the Marines at least was co-opted with the Army school.
Yeah, the Army doesn't even have it there anymore.
Yeah, it's
Fort Benning.
Benning now.
Yeah.
But Louisville's kind of underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Louisville.
Yeah, my first few nationals were there. But yeah, we saw Nate Diaz, and I was the only. Everyone was like just riding that McGregor hype train. I was like, dude, Nate Diaz. But by the way, the lead up to that fight
was awesome.
Was amazing because it was like McGregor was trying to do everything, and Nate Diaz was just like, I don't give a fuck, whatever.
We'll fight right now.
I don't fucking care. Like, I don't give a fuck about your belt.
Yeah, for sure.
That one thing he said about, you remember his McGregor had that movement coach, Ido Portal, the Israeli guy, the movement guy, and Nate Diaz had the best line when he's just like, you're out there, like he's like, I'm fighting, like I'm training with top level jiu-jitsu guys, top level boxing guys, top level kickboxing guys. I'm doing triathlons, and you're out there playing touch butt with that dork with the ponytail. I was just like, my man, fucking West Coast, let's go.
The Diaz brothers are awesome. Another guy that I liked before he retired was the Count.
Bisbing, dude, man. His podcast appearances that he has like on Joe Rogan and like Fighter and the Kid, like that motherfucker is so charismatic.
Yeah, dude, and where I got his respect was where he got my respect. Excuse me. Was when he took that fight 3 weeks after his last fight.
Oh, right.
Made the weight and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna knock.
Talking about the Rockhold fight?
Rockhold, yeah. He was like, I'm gonna go out there and knock him out. And Rockhold was like, oh, I beat him before, I'll beat him again.
Dude, and
knocks Rockhold.
And
out.
I actually loved Rockhold.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
Days. But when that shit happened, I was just like, I'm torn. And I was actually rooting for Rockhold to be a fucking long-standing champion. But as soon as
I don't know what happened to him, man. Like he just fell off. He got
the
belt.
What I heard was he got a really bad staph infection from and they think it might be from kicking Yoel Romero.
Oh shit.
But yeah, he just got a really bad staph infection. That's why he wears that leg sleeve. And then he's just fucking male modeling. And it's like, yeah, I'll fucking take my shirt off and pose in front of a camera versus getting my head
ass kicked.
Beat in by
for sure
the top fighters in the world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, Bisping's fucking. I just like him because he's just like that classic British fucking.
Like I could see him bare knuckle boxing.
Pub brawler.
Oi!
Right, just fucking straight up hooligan.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's go.
For sure. Yeah, man, I love UFC, man. I've been watching it since.
It's the only sport. It's the only sport I follow now because, I mean, growing up, I used to love basketball.
Yeah.
And for me, man, I don't know what just happened. I just fell out of interest with it. But dude, I will say this, man. After I finished that marathon and my mom and I went out to dinner, late lunch or whatever you want to call it, post-race meal, went out to this Thai restaurant, and then, like, leaving it, she's just like, hey, did you hear Kobe Bryant died?
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah, same thing.
She's like, yeah, he died in a helicopter crash. I was like, shut the fuck up.
For sure.
Like, really? She's like, yeah. Pat just texted me, and my stepdad's, like, a huge Lakers fan. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, he grew up in L.A.
Oh, okay.
So he'd been around since the early days.
The Magic Johnson days, probably.
Yeah, and I grew up a Blazers fan, so I mean, I just have to hate L.A. But I was always just like, dude, Kobe Bryant is the alpha of alphas.
For sure.
Like the dude just fucking won in everything he ever did.
He was, for
I mean,
sure.
just he dominated basketball for so long. I mean, just was the best family guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I didn't really know much about his daughter, the one that also perished with him. But she was gonna carry his legacy.
Oh, for sure.
And then like I've seen like just GIFs and videos of him courtside with his daughter, just explaining the game.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if you ever watch I think it's on ESPN Plus, but Detail.
Yeah.
With Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Dude.
His basketball IQ is insane.
His IQ is just so next level.
I grew up watching Kobe. I put a few posts on social media and stuff like that. When I first heard about it, it didn't really set in me. It didn't really hit me too much. And then last night, ESPN had his final game on.
Oh, I watched it. 2016, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Alabama watching it with my brother.
And he was
what did he end up dropping that night?
60.
Yeah.
60 points. Has the record for the most points put out on a final game. And he
dude, he was on fire.
That last 3 minutes of the game.
He wasn't missing anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then he had 35 points in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's
35 points.
That's almost Tracy McGrady's number.
Yeah. And then so I'm watching it, and then at the end, it's like 50 seconds left of the game, and the coach pulls him for the final time. The whole crowd's there yelling, and he does his normal wave off and stuff like that. And then right there, dude, it just hit me, and I'm like, start tearing of the eyes and stuff like that, because I knew his speech was coming. And then not only did they focus in on him waving to the fans, they focused on him on his daughters, and his daughters and his wife. And right there, me being a father, I'm like, fuck, man,
dude,
like that kind of shit hits me now.
Dude, do you know why he got that helicopter? Why he started doing that?
I don't know why he started doing it.
It was dude, I wish I could pull up the video. I'll show you it after the podcast. But he did it because he wanted to spend more time with his family. Oh. Yeah, he straight up was just like, no, if it versus a 3-hour commute from
for sure.
Newport Beach out to the Staples Center, and because he was always best work ethic.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, of any athlete. So he's always going to try to get to the gym, but he's like, if I can cut down that 3 hours down to 45 minutes, like that's totally worth it. Like I can pick up the kids at school, I can go to their plays, I can do all sorts of shit.
Such a great family guy.
Yeah, that's dude. That when I heard that, I was just like, fuck. It's so heartbreaking, man. At 41, like just not even. Like he accomplished so much, but I still don't even think he hit his peak.
I mean,
as a human being, like maybe not as an athlete, but like as a human being, like his greatest achievement was going to be
his girl.
To see
his girl
Gigi up in the just dominating through college. Probably would have played for like something like UCLA or something.
No, she was supposed to be going to UConn.
There you go.
UConn, matter of fact, UConn
and
did
she was only like what, 14?
13.
Yeah.
And UConn actually did a tribute for her. They had her number and they made her a jersey.
Damn.
And they put her on a chair with flowers and stuff like that. And yeah, because she was a diehard UConn fan. I mean, she would her and Kobe would fly out to Connecticut just
to the games
to watch the Huskies play, and to have that kind of dedication to the sport. Playing basketball my whole life, that's hard. It's like I said, I grew up watching him, and I didn't know him as a person, but I studied him as.
You ever get to see him play?
I did watch him play.
Did you grow up
against Orlando?
You grew up a Magic fan?
I'm an Orlando fan, but. I did watch him play during against Orlando. I've seen Jordan play against Orlando too, when he played with the Wizards. So
I don't know if I ever saw Jordan play.
And I saw old Jordan, but it was still great. He still put up 30 points.
Yeah, I remember him torching my Blazers
every year.
And then it was the Shaq Kobe dynasty
torching
the Blazers.
Then it was the Warriors.
Yeah.
Torching the Blazers.
Blazers have just always had a bad run.
Now it's the Lakers again. Torches the Blazers.
Yeah, man. And like the what I don't know what happened with the Warriors. They just like fell off. But
their two best shooters are injured for the season.
Yeah.
Curry broke his hand.
Has Durant played much this season?
Durant can't play. He had a ruptured Achilles last year, so he's out for this season. And then Klay Thompson, I believe, had a torn ACL.
Yeah.
And so he's out for the season too.
Apparently he's like a big poker player.
He is.
Yeah.
He's actually a big gamer too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he plays Call of Duty.
He'll drive out to this casino out in Fresno for whatever reason. And I got some family. I got some step family that used to work at this casino.
Yeah.
They'd be like, dude, Klay Thompson comes in all the time, even after games. So just come in and just fucking sit in the poker room playing like 1-3 fucking no limit hold'em, which is like the entry level game. You know, motherfuckers just got done shooting hoops and making $1 million.
Probably him just kind of, probably his way of decompressing. You know,
I get it. That's what I did after the Vegas marathon.
Yeah.
Went out to dinner with Birch, and then I think he ended up calling it a night early, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm already in the Venetian. I'm just gonna go play some poker. Ended up playing for like 4 hours.
Never been a big poker guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know how to play. I know the basic rules, but I know.
You smash it enough at spades.
Yeah, spades. Spades is me, man.
I started playing Texas Hold'em. I knew how to play poker just from those old school games, those handheld games. So that's when I learned all the different hands and shit with poker. It was more like a video poker game. And then I learned how to play Texas Hold'em from Pat. I want to say I was probably like 11 years old.
Yeah.
And just always just loved playing. And then when I think it was in 2005 when the big Texas Hold'em boom, when they started airing on ESPN, and it was all because they had that cigar cam. You're able to see the players' hands. Then poker just took off, and I think in 2005 it just blew up.
Yeah.
You were able to buy like chip sets at like Walmart or
I had a
whatever.
soldier. He used to play Hold'em on his phone, like legit bets.
Yeah.
Like real bets, and he was making money. He was sitting there. If we didn't have any traffic, he'd play, and I'm like, "How much money did you make?" He's like, "I made $2,000."
Yeah.
Like, God damn, bro! Like,
oh, dude,
3 hours you made $2,000.
We used to play in high school, and this was before we had chip sets. So even before the big poker boom, we used to just roll down to the 7-Eleven, exchange a 5 for a roll of nickels.
Yeah.
And we would use the nickels as chips, and we would just fucking straight up be up all night till like 5, 6 a.m. fucking playing nickel poker.
What I used to do with coins is, you ever play quarters?
Drop it in the shot glass?
No, man.
Oh, not talking about knuckles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
right.
That's what I used to do with coins.
Yeah, I've busted some shit up. Actually, that scar right there on that ring finger is from fucking playing some quarters. I don't know how it happened, but yeah.
I don't know.
Shit got
fights or quarters.
But I was really good at I guess some places they call it pig, but like quarters into shot glasses and shit.
I've never played that.
It's just like a little bar trick where you
smack it on there,
slap the quarter into a shot glass or whatever. And I remember one time in high school, I think I was a senior maybe. I put a shot glass on top of a half-gallon of Jack Daniels, and it was just a group of chicks, and I was like, hey, I bet y'all that I can do this on one shot, and I'm seeing some titties tonight. And I fucking just, and I don't know what, like, I just had a good technique, and I was able to just fucking drop it and just, boom, bing. I was like,
show
them to me. Show them to me. Bring them out. But that was my game. Poker was my game, and actually when I got injured, that's pretty much all I did because online poker was still legal.
Yeah.
I just fucking Netflix just came out with their streaming service.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this was like fall '08. So Netflix just came out with their streaming service. I remember the first movie I streamed on Netflix, Boondock Saints.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, because I had Netflix with the red envelopes,
Yeah.
so I was always getting shit. But then they were like, "Hey, streaming."
I had
I was like-
Blockbuster.
I had the Blockbuster Total Pass too in like high school.
I used to get it mainly for the video games. I was a big
Yeah.
gamer growing up, and
That was the big dude. That's what I miss about rental stores now.
yeah, you can't rent video games anymore. Man.
Nobody rents
I
video
mean, you
games.
can do it off Redbox. Redbox has like 5 of them in each one, but
Yeah, but like you remember going to the store and being like,
oh shit, this game just came out.
or dude, you remember this is like in like grade school if you're gonna have like a sleepover,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we gotta go get Mario Party, and you'd be looking, and be like, okay, there it is, like making sure, and then you gotta grab it behind the box, be like hoping there's one left.
For sure, man.
You get like Mario Party or Mario Kart, whatever, and
That was a good time, man.
that was good. It was a great time to be a kid.
For sure. I definitely say we grew up in a good time.
Dude, I always feel that, man. Like I feel like we hit that kind of sweet spot.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, because when did you get your first cell phone?
I was in high school.
Yeah, I
I
think I
was-
was a sophomore.
Yeah, same here. I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. Yeah, because now, dude, my nephew just got one for Christmas.
Yeah.
He just turned 10. So he got
mean-
one when he was 9.
The only way, you spoke about this. The only way I think I'd get Elijah a cell phone is, if we're like he's playing multiple sports
Yeah.
and like he's got practice, and I'm like, here, call me when you get done.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like with schools, he could just ask his coach, like, hey, can you call my dad? I mean,
Yeah. Now,
I'm not saying if I'm not already there.
let's say you're still in this place and he's 8 years old and already knows how to ride a bike. Would you trust him to just go ride his bike out in the neighborhood, and just come back whenever without a phone?
Definitely not.
Yeah, because I did that shit all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to do it all the time.
maybe honestly, probably even younger than 8.
I mean, I used to go ride my bike or some rollerblades or, whatever I had, and I'd go out till shit. My mom would have to call me in, and she'd call me in with a whistle.
Yeah.
But if I didn't hear that whistle, boy, I was getting my ass kicked.
Mm. Yeah. I was
For sure.
it was always just come home after dark.
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't like a street light kind of thing. I don't remember that ever being a rule, but it was just like
For me, it was like a
just you know,
dinner's gonna be pretty much right when it gets dark.
yeah,
So get there.
yeah, or call,
Yeah.
and you'd have
You'd
to
have-
borrow,
Or
hey,
just use the whole house phone. Which,
yeah, hey, Mr. Anderson, can I use the house phone? Gotta
Yeah.
call my folks.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, man. Very rarely do you see house phones anymore.
I mean, we use Magic Jack, but
Oh man, we haven't had a house phone. I had one when I was in Alabama, but that was just because it came with the bundle pack that I had with the.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever even connected it because we just had cell phones,
when was the last time you used a payphone?
And I don't even remember. I don't
Ever
even
using a
remember.
payphone?
I remember using a payphone. I
Not
just
even in the
remember-
army?
Oh yeah, then that would be
using
the
a
last,
calling card?
Yeah, that'd be the last time I
Yeah.
used a payphone.
Yeah, I remember using a calling card to call home.
Yeah,
When I was in infantry school.
that'd definitely be the last time I used a payphone.
Yeah. Did you actually use a calling card too?
Yeah,
Yeah. Or
I
calling collect and shit.
I got
Yeah.
3 calls in basic training. One was, "Hey, I'm here." 2
Yeah,
was
we get that.
it was I was in basic during Mother's Day, so they're
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Here, we'll give you guys a phone call to call your moms," and then you only have like literally 30 seconds.
I graduated right after Mother's. When did you
I got in
when did you go in?
March 23rd,
08?
09.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cuz I graduated in May 08.
And then
Right before Mother's Day.
yeah, and then I was there from March to June, and then yeah, it was good. 3 phone calls. My third one was, "Hey, did you get my letter with the address?" Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys then.
Graduation. Yeah,
Yep.
those were the 2 mandatory ones. And the one that I actually earned was during Pugo Sticks.
Oh, you
And
fuck somebody up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's pretty much, I played lacrosse in high school. So
Oh, okay. So
it's
got you.
pretty much like
Same
a
hold.
lacrosse thing. And it was a 2-on-1 on the bridge.
So
Because we I don't know how the Army works, but we have different phases.
yeah.
And, like, first one's like just standard bull ring. And then it's like you're on a bridge. And then it's like 2-on-1 on a bridge. And then there's one, they call it the Thunderdome.
We don't do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
We do more Pugo Sticks. We had, for us, it was more like boxing, I guess you could say. And I did Muay Thai in high school, so the boxing aspect of it was pretty much came natural to me.
Okay,
I sat there and I was just
ours was pretty much just the savagery.
yeah.
And like you would see guys get lit up because they stopped hitting a guy that was already down. And they'd be like, "Why the fuck did you stop? Did I fucking tell you to stop? Like you keep killing this motherfucker till he's fucking done." And it was just like, okay.
And then what we did a lot though, we did more jiu-jitsu than anything.
Right. Yeah. Our McMap was like Krav Maga, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Kinda
So
based.
ours was pretty much that's where we focused the most on was jiu-jitsu.
But even then, it was more about fucking up the guy. Because I remember
Same here.
we do these things like body hardening exercises.
Okay.
You guys do that?
No.
Did you guys do that in Muay Thai?
Yeah.
So, yeah, in McMap, we do body hardening exercises where it's pretty much like, hey, we're
Fucking
going to make
shit.
the recruits beat the shit out of each other. And we would stand like toe to toe, and you would swing your right arm. So you and I would be facing each other. And I would swing my right arm, and our arms would just hit. And then we'd swing our left, and we would just pretty much just beat each other up and be like, all right, now we're doing the outside forearm, inside forearm, leg kicks, like inside thigh, outside thigh. We pretty much just beat the fuck out of each other. And I got paired up with the platoon shitbird, and our DIs were right on top of me, like, let's go. And they're like, you're Laotian, right? Because I had my Laos tat. They're like,
Yeah.
that's close enough to tie. Kick the fuck out of this guy like it's a bamboo tree. And like I'm wailing on this kid, and like he starts like almost crying. Yeah. And they're like, you can kick harder. I'm just like, fuck, I'm so sorry, dude. Just
Bow.
like if I don't fuck you up, I'm gonna get fucked up.
up.
So
Yeah,
it's gonna be you.
for sure. My drill sergeant, he actually he would like secretly bring us into like the wood line.
Yeah.
And, like, hey, you guys got some tension? Fuck each other up. Call each other out right now.
Yeah.
And
We had a fight club.
And his cool thing was, I brought that over with me to Korea. Like, we'd go to field mission for 2 weeks out of every month. And first day we got there was like, you got some shit against anybody? Call them out right now. Like,
Yeah.
but that's also why my team is probably the best team in the country at that, in my opinion. I mean, we had so much camaraderie, and like we were brothers and sisters. We had a couple females, and like we'd fuck each other up, and that was it. And at the end, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but at the end of it, you guys are we're still cool.
We had a fight club in boot camp where it was just like, if you got beef with another recruit, like we'll schedule a time. You guys are gonna go in the fucking rain room and settle it out. I got called out once, and I called out a guy once, and we just
I got called out once when I was in basic. It was actually, he was Native American, and his last name was Burnside.
Yeah.
And he called me out, and
he called you out. You remember
we were duking it out for a little bit. I don't even know what he called me out for. He just called me out, and then at the end of it, shook hands.
Yeah.
That was it. It's not like
none of this petty shit nowadays.
Not like in the streets. You get in a fight in the streets, you see that guy again, you want to fuck him up again, or
it's gonna escalate. It's always gonna escalate.
Just like,
yeah,
dude, you got your ass kicked. That's it. Be done with it.
Yeah. If you still got a problem with it, fucking go home, fucking watch a, fucking jujitsu video,
and come back
and try again.
But like,
here, keep talking. I'm gonna get some more rum.
Go for it.
But no, I get what you mean, dude. It's just like I don't.
I never understood that whole. Oh, I got into a fight with this guy, and he fucked me up. So now I'm gonna hit him for life. Shoot his ass. I mean, you're not. Yeah, exactly. And then at the end of it, either you're going to jail because you escalated it too high, or you're the one who gets your ass kicked or killed. Um. Hey, girl. Hey. Tonight we're getting fucked up.
I completely blacked out
After what?
I think the last time I blacked out was in Paraguay. I don't remember. Dude, I woke up. I was supposed to take a shit that morning. Fucking woke up. It was like, oh fuck, we gotta get on the bus.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, we just straight up like ate it.
Oh, that's right. That's by the way, that's the only game of Spades Majors ever won.
Good on him. Good
Ever. And you know why? Because he was on my team.
Yeah. All right, we're back. We left off. What were we talking about?
I don't even remember,
Where
man.
were we in the story? We've been all over the map right now. We were talking about. Well, let's talk about when you were stationed in Korea. Pretty good experience, you would say?
Dude, I loved Korea, and
People don't realize that Koreans are professional drinkers.
oh, for sure. For sure. Adashi would drink anybody under the water. I don't give a fuck how heavy you are.
Yeah.
Adashi
They
would
just
drink.
it's so ingrained in their culture.
I mean, yeah, soju is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, I had my first experience with it last year when I went to Australia.
And you don't taste it, and if you put that shit in juice, it just makes it sweeter. You don't taste that shit.
Yeah, it's very refreshing on a warm day.
And Adashi just sits there at the fucking curb every day, just drinks a whole bottle of soju. Yeah, you just got a sip left. You might as well just put it in fucking glass.
I mean, yeah, we might as well. It's gonna happen. This Cuban rum is pretty good.
Yeah, Santiago de Cuba. It is good. I can't wait for them to open those.
Do this for the camera.
There you go. Gotta suck out that last drop.
Good to the last for sure. It's communist rum. You can't fucking let it go to waste.
No, especially since I can't get that shit back.
True. Yeah, it's got the old tax stamp somewhere. Where did I see it?
I bet you
there it is.
I bet you they sell it in fucking Miami.
In a back room. Yeah,
Probably,
for sure.
They probably sell it in Miami.
Yeah.
I bet you if I go to Miami, I'm like,
Same with like Cuban cigars.
go to Hialeah and be like,
Are you a cigar smoker?
every once in a while.
Yeah.
I believe it or not, I really didn't care for Cuban cigars like that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I mean I guess they're just too robust for me.
Depends.
Yeah, I know the Monte Cristos are good, but like the Havanas are just they're just too big, too robust for me, I guess.
Yeah. You gotta try if you ever get a chance. They're called. My favorite is called a Partega Series P #2, and it's
Gotta text me that because I'm gonna forget that shit.
it's a Partega Serie Numero Dos or P2. You can call it just P2 or P2, P2. It's smooth as fuck.
Yeah.
And really good with any kind of hard liquor, like a good rum or a good scotch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm either bourbon or rum. That's pretty much what I drink.
Yeah. Growing up, man, I was all about the rums. Sailor Jerry was kind of my flavor.
Growing up, it was me. I was vodka. Vodka was my
Oh,
shit.
dude, I had a bad experience with vodka, so I never really fucked with it.
And I,
Or clear liquor in general.
yeah,
So
when I was
tequila.
younger, I had a bad experience with whiskey. Like,
Oh yeah.
like whiskey would just make me angry.
Oh,
And
whiskey
then,
was always my jam.
and then, you know, I already got it. Now that as I got a little older, a little more mature,
Yeah.
you know, I think it was probably. I don't think whiskey made me angry. It was probably just the fact that I was just drinking so much of it that
I think I was a angry person before
probably.
before I joined the Marines. I would classify myself as kind of an angry guy.
I was never an angry guy. I was always more of passive, believe it or not. I mean, I've gotten in fights. I'm not gonna say I've never been in a fight. And there are times where, you know, I was going to places knowing that I was going to get in a fight.
Yeah.
But
Dude, sometimes, I mean, especially the summer after high school, I would purposely go out
yeah,
and look for fights.
yeah. I mean, sometimes that's.
Yeah.
And then, but by the time I got in the army, it was just, you know, I just wanted to have fun.
Yeah. I think I got it out of me, but I was so the reason I joined the Marines was we were involved with 2 wars. And I was like, I want to know what war and combat is like. So when I joined, was my purpose. And I think once I figured that out, it was like, I'm not aggressive anymore. And like, yeah, we did. We got into one fight once as Marines, but it was just more like a drunken brawl during
That's
4th
pretty
of
much.
July.
The fights that we
Um,
got into were just stupid shit, man.
It's also, I mean, San Diego, dude, like, I mean, especially in 2008, like, MMA was just starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Like, BJ Penn just blew up.
Yep.
And so, like, there was so many
Fucking prodigy.
there was so many jujitsu gyms. And then CrossFit just blew up. So, like, when you would go downtown San Diego, man, it was like the Gaslamp district was full of fucking Chads, Brads, and, you know, fucking bros.
Yeah.
It was bro chacho central, especially when you had the Navy side of things. You got the Marines there. You got all the MMA gyms. You got the fucking CrossFitters, and then all the college kids. So it was just like, I don't know. It was always a fucking fight, but I never wanted to just be around it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was only when we were in Korea. It's probably only like one time where like I was actually looking for a fight and I didn't even find one, but I was looking for one. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Is this
I mean,
with a local or just another soldier?
I didn't even find a fight at that point.
Yeah.
But the last fight that I actually been in, I'd probably say, probably was in Korea. It was just drunk. I was drunk doing
Yeah.
stupid shit. I remember this one guy. Some people call me a Blue Falcon for this, but whatever. I'll say it was fair. My buddy came up and just fucking punched some random dude in the face. And he was a fucking small Korean dude. He's probably like 5'2",
Yeah.
maybe weighed 120 pounds. Probably not. Maybe like a 110. And we're like, all right.
This is just straight up out of nowhere.
Yeah, like my buddy just punched him out of nowhere. And he looked at us and he's like, he just punched me. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do to him? Nothing. I was just walking. He spoke English. And I'm like, so he just fucking punched you? He's like, yeah. And then my buddy, the fucking instigator, is sitting over there. And he's just cracking up. And he's like, yeah, I told him he wouldn't punch a random guy. So he just fucking punched her. And I'm like, you fucking idiots, man. He was like, I don't want fight. I just want my punch back. So he just wanted to punch him.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, man, I respect that. You just want your lick back.
100%.
I want your lick back. I want
If
my lick back too.
If that shit would happen in San Diego, somebody's getting sued. Somebody's getting thrown in the brig.
For sure. And he's like, I just want my punch back. I was like, all right, fuck it, though. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And he's like, and my buddy, he's fucking one of those cocky New Yorkers.
Okay.
So he doesn't just sit there and take the punch. He fucking pops his chin out. I'm holding his arm so he doesn't fucking punch this guy back. That way he just gets that one lick and he's done and he's done. Next thing you know, this is the fucking Bruce Lee of Korea.
I was gonna say, please tell me this fucking Korean guy had been practicing this exact punch for 40 years.
For sure. This Korean guy goes,
Shakes it out.
shakes his hand, closes it, doesn't cock back at all. It just goes, boom. My buddy just goes, bam, hits the floor. Fucking Mondo just goes and fucking chases this Korean dude. And like as soon as he punched the guy, I looked at him, I was like, run. Get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
And then so we find Mondo, whatever, we get back on the train, we wake Abby up, and then this guy, Abby the next morning, he wakes up, he's like, what the fuck happened last night? I'm like, what do you mean, dude? He's like, bro, this whole side of my face fucking hurts.
He's just like,
He was blacked out drunk. And I was like, dude, you got knocked the fuck out last night, dude.
How old do you think this dude was?
This kid was probably our age. We were only like 20.
Okay.
So he's probably our age. And
Our age now or your
no, like
age?
20
then? Okay.
at that time. And then he, we had the video. We got it on video so he can show him the next morning.
Oh, yeah. Of course you're going to record
And he was like, no way. I'm like, dude, some Korean kid knocked you the fuck
dude,
out last night.
I'm really glad when I was in, the iPhone hadn't been out yet.
Oh, we had iPhones.
I mean,
I didn't have an iPhone.
I don't even think Androids were out yet.
When were you out? You got
I got out in 08. Yeah, I got injured in 08.
I think Androids were
They
out
might have
Just
came out, but iPhone for sure wasn't.
because I was in Korea in 09 and they already had Galaxies.
Yeah, no, I think it happened like maybe that holiday season.
And
I
iPhone
got hurt in July 08.
iPhone came out I want to say the end of 07 maybe.
I don't think
Because
that's
Leanne
right.
had an iPhone 1.
Yeah, I don't know if that's right though. Because the phone that I had,
I want to look it up.
I mean, you can if you want. I'll
phone
talk. Where's your phone?
Over there. I don't know. I'm too lazy to get it right now.
The phone that I had when I was in was, I think it was called the LG NV2, and it was the one that you could flip open. It was a full QWERTY keyboard.
Got you.
Yeah, and it had a camera. I remember fucking sending nudies to my girl back home. She's fucking would send nudies back, but that was about the extent of that phone. It was text messages and getting like it was only like
and it had shitty camera.
5 megapixel fucking titty.
Probably like, I don't know if that's Tim's dick or if that's just a pixel.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Windows phone, and I thought I was the shit when I had this Windows phone.
I remember when those came out, and I don't know why it never caught on, because I heard it was actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it was a badass phone.
Yeah.
And it had like a full screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a full touch screen, and it had a stylus to it, and I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
Then Leanne gets the fucking iPhone that same year, and I'm like, well, that shit's better than this shit.
Yeah.
And then, by all means, I'm not a iPhone guy, but
I honestly can't even use them.
yeah,
I've been Team Android since day one.
yeah, I've never had an iPhone. I've had a iPad, which to me that's like the only thing that they got 100% right. Is the
Well,
iPad.
that actually, when I graduated boot camp, I had that boot camp money,
Oh, okay.
and I bought a brass Zippo lighter with a Jack Daniels like engraving,
Yeah.
and 80 gig iPod Classic.
Oh yeah, the iPod Classic is
Still got them both to this day. And
Oh,
the iPod
shit.
Classic's fucking
It's the
dope
shit,
as
man.
shit. Yeah,
iPod
it's got
Classic's
so
the
much.
best one.
The reason why I love it was because I didn't have a laptop when I was in the Marines, so I would always go around to my friends, and I would just bump off of their iTunes. So I got the most random shit. Yeah, I got everything from fucking, no joke, Avril Lavigne, Britney Spears, to like Sum 41, Blink 182, to Metallica, to like all this deathcore shit.
I never really fucked with Britney Spears. Avril Lavigne, I used to jam to a couple of her songs. I'll definitely jam to Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, I got
jam to Taylor Swift all day.
I think I have, well, not every album, but like her first 3 albums on that iPod.
I'll for sure, like, I'll be that guy sitting in my Raptor just fucking bumping
Dude,
Taylor Swift. I don't give a shit.
So one of my favorite country artists is George Strait, and he came to Portland in 2006, and I got tickets to go see him, and his opening act was this new young artist, Taylor Swift.
And at that time, she was a country singer.
Yeah, her first album was 100% country. Her first song was Tim McGraw, which rumor has it was written about me.
Oh yeah,
that's just what I hear.
Oh
yeah, but
she had yellow fever for a little bit.
She tried it once. But she okay. So I fucking, me and my 2 buddies, where we pull up to the Rose Garden where the concert was, where the Blazers play. We fucking have, I think it was either a 5th or a half gallon of Jack Daniels and a fucking big gulp of Coca-Cola, and we just fucking drank the entire bottle. And for whatever reason, I fucking just blacked out. I must have not eaten that day. Blacked out. Don't even remember walking up to the Rose Garden and pissing on the fucking big ass glass window where it's like people are walking by and I'm just fucking drop trowel thinking I'm pissing in bushes, peeing on a window, and they wouldn't even let me in the fucking past the gate.
Oh,
She's
for
like,
sure.
You're fucked up. Like,
you're way
you're
too
not
drunk.
Coming in.
Get the fuck out of here.
So she fucking kicks me out. My buddies are like, well, see ya. And I buy a ticket from a scalper and end up going into another entrance. And I get in. I'm just stumbling around. And the fucking security guard that had kicked me out at the first gate happened to be making some rounds and saw me. She's like, all right, you're coming with me. And fucking took me to the drunk tank. So at least I got to listen to the entire concert and Taylor Swift, and the next opening act was Ronnie Millsap and then George Strait. So at least I got to listen to the entire concert. But after Taylor Swift did her thing, she fucking was walking around the Rose Garden just taking pictures. So all my buddies have fucking pictures of Taylor Swift way back in like 2006 when she was still country.
Still a kid.
Oh, yeah. She was only like 19.
Yeah, she was super young.
I don't even think, yeah, she must have only been like 19 at the time. Maybe she might have even been younger.
I think she was younger.
She might have been. Yeah.
I want to say she's in her 20s right now. She's definitely not in her 30s.
No, I don't think she is.
She was in, she was 19 in 06, she'd be in her 30s.
She got to be like maybe late 20s.
Yeah.
I can't believe how big she's gotten. Fucking the music scene I'm so detached from. Although, you did see Shakira's doing the halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lopez, I think. It's Jennifer Lopez and Shakira.
In Miami.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fucking fiesta.
For sure, man. I'm not paying $7,500 a ticket, though. That's what they said the average ticket is. I'm like, fuck.
That sucks. And
$7,500.
My pops is a big Niners fan.
Yeah.
Because he, after, he grew up in L.A. in like the 50s, 60s, and then went to San Francisco in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
I bet you he was a hippie like a motherfucker in the 70s.
He wasn't, but his brother was. His brother was at like the first Burning Man.
Oh, shit.
And was at like the Summer of Love and like all of that. Super, and was part of a cult. Like, yeah. Yeah, it was, dude, yeah. No, it's insane. Like, some of the stories I've heard. But yeah, no, he got to experience the fucking dynasty of like 2 Laker dynasties,
Oh, for sure.
and then the Joe Montana era, and then Steve Young on the tail end, and then
it's a lot of good sports if you think about it, sport wise.
oh, he hit him on, and then UCLA with oh shit, why can't I think of the coach? The famous UCLA coach.
I'm not a big college fan.
College guy, yeah. Either am I, dude. I can't get behind it, but there's. I feel like such a dumbass right now, but there is one super famous UCLA coach who has a really great like philosophy on not just basketball but like life overall. And I'm way too drunk. I can't fucking think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name at all, and I'm not drunk at all. So it's not.
He's an old crusty white guy. But
that's what most of them look like, old crusty white guys.
And then he also got the USC era with like Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart when they had that run with Pete Carroll.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been a big college guy. Basketball, I'll watch college basketball every once in a while if it's a close game, like within 2 points. But
that's weird because you really like basketball, so like I feel like March Madness.
To me, it's just college basketball is just too wild. You know, they just kind of take whatever shot is there, even though if it's not a good shot, like it's not structured enough for me. Like I can watch NBA and see the play develop, but with college basketball, it's like, oh, that guy was open. Why the fuck didn't he just shoot it? And he just passes to a guy who's got a guy in front of him. I'm like,
yeah,
the fuck are you doing?
I don't get into it too much. Maybe during March Madness, but I've never filled out a bracket or anything like that. Like, I'll just follow along, you know. But and then I mean, even with like NBA, I don't really give a fuck until the playoffs.
That's really the only time to give a fuck. Like I'm not a diehard NBA watcher until after All-Star.
Okay.
After the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And that's just because right then and there, that's when teams are trying to push for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's when they're all just, playing as hard as they can. And, that's when I like it the most.
I've been a little bit more interested in NHL.
Hockey. I like watching it when it's on, but I guess I just don't know enough of the teams to.
I'm the same way, man. I went to my first NHL game just like last year.
Talking about the Blackhawks game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not that one, but I went to one before that.
Okay, gotcha.
But then, yeah, even after that, and I was just like, this is dope as shit. But like,
yeah, that's how that's when I actually. Before I'd see hockey on the TV and I'd just change it real fast.
Yeah.
But then
until like maybe like Olympics.
Yeah.
Like during the Winter Olympics.
For sure.
Even like sled hockey. Like I'll watch sled hockey.
Hopefully, I think last year the sled hockey national championships was here. And I think they're supposed to be doing it again this year.
Okay.
That's a good question. I'll figure that out because I'd like to see that.
I got to meet. I don't know if you met Rico Roman. But he was team captain for the U.S. hockey team.
Nice.
The last one that just won the last Winter Paralympics. But yeah, he's a Portland guy. He's actually, don't quote me. I don't think he's Puerto Rican, but he might just be straight Mexican.
What's his last name?
Roman.
That's
Roman.
Yeah, that can be either one. I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know like
Yeah. We met at this Adidas conference because I've been doing like the workups for the National Veteran Wheelchair Games.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was, I sent that thing out and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be meeting with like these Adidas guys, and dude, it was dope as shit. Like they got this thing because I think it's their North American headquarters is in Portland, and that's also where the employee store is. So when you're there this summer, check it out and you usually get some cool shit. Even if you wanted to just get like a classic like Adidas tracksuit. Like
shit!
They got all that shit too.
Like the break dancers.
Run DMC, yeah, yeah. I got a red one, man. I love it. Like feel like a fucking Russian mobster. But
Go out there with a fucking Adidas suit, fucking gold chain.
Gold chain, yeah, that gold rope and that fucking the Kango
Yeah.
hat. But they, yeah, their makers lab was dope because they're like, they were just asking us and the makers lab is like where they prototype like all their shoes and like different shorts and like they could put different zippers and different
Yeah.
stitchings and like they can fucking do these like welds, like these plastic
Oh, that's right. I
welds on
believe
shit.
you were telling me like you can go in there and make your own pants.
Yeah, and like the guy's like, hey, it's open to you guys. Like you guys can learn how to use the equipment and then come back and make your own shit. And I just thought of this because I've been using these Under Armour push gloves for a while, and I'm probably gonna have to buy another pair. But like what I like about them is like it's got good fucking grip. Kind of, I mean, everything sucks in the rain.
For sure.
But it's got good padding on the backside because I use the back of my
Break.
hands when I break. And they're fingerless because they're linebacker gloves.
Okay.
So they're fingerless, so you could still use your fingers to use your phone or have that dexter. Like I can cath with the gloves on.
Nice.
Yeah,
I got these
yeah.
shitty bike gloves that work pretty good for me, and the reason why is because they have like these two little loops inside, like in between your index and middle and your ring and pinky.
Full finger?
They're not full finger.
I don't know if I've ever seen you wear gloves.
But you can pop them off like that.
Were you wearing gloves when we went to Disney?
No. But
that was the one thing I made sure I had. And I wish I would have made sure I had my fucking Columbia jacket that was in my truck at Animal Kingdom. Freezing my fucking balls off.
Don't say Florida doesn't get cold.
Dude, it was freezing.
Don't say Florida doesn't get cold.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather was nice, but it was cold. It was in the 40s.
Dude, it was hella cold.
But I mean, as far as the sun was out, so
during the day.
Yeah, that was a good thing. At night, it was in the.
When we got to Magic Kingdom, I was just like,
everybody got
bought
everybody
that
got
other coat.
a fucking sweater.
Bought that other sweater, put it under the hoodie, and still.
It went from wearing a bunch of like either Oscar Mike shit or everybody.
Disney.
Everybody just wearing Disney.
Yeah.
It was a nice sweater, man.
The sweater I got, man, it's just a good crew, man. It's got the old classic fucking Disney, Mickey Mouse and shit. I was just like, I should have wore it for the fucking podcast.
I got mine in my closet.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Seattle one. My buddy got this for me when we went to visit him when he was stationed in Seattle.
Fort Lewis?
What was that?
Fort Lewis? Yeah.
No, it's not a fort. It's
or is it
Joint Base? It's Joint Base.
JBLM.
Yeah, JBLM.
Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Okay, got you.
I think.
Yeah, Fort Lewis.
I heard
a
rumor that it was the highest suicide in of the bases.
Probably.
Because it's like rainy and gray all the time.
Korea would be right there too, because that fucking thing. Man, it rained for like a month straight, dude. Nonstop.
When I was there
for monsoon season.
I think it was like April, but we had just come from Cambodia where I'm wearing shorts and my Sanuk like sandal like slipper things.
And you were fucking cold.
Yeah, and I had my hoodie, but it was like I had my shorts and it was like a fucking tank top, like that bin tank top.
Yep.
And we get to Korea, and it was like maybe high 40s, low 50s, gray as shit. And I was just like, fuck, I feel like we're back in Portland. Freezing my dick off.
Fuck, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah. But then, after the museum, we said, fuck the cabbies, and we took the train back.
How did she fuck you?
Yeah, all hard. Yeah. No, dry dicked it.
How did she fuck
you? We went to, it was the food court at the train station at the airport and had some bomb ass ramen and Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah, ramen's good.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
If you would hit me up maybe 2 or 3 hours before, right by the VA there's a bomb Korean spot.
Oh, yeah?
Really fucking good, man.
Oh, damn.
It was fucking
Sectionals.
yeah, for sure, sectionals. Yeah. And then I was just thinking right now, man. One of the things that I miss about Korea is the fucking rest areas, dude.
Oh yeah.
So like, you go to a rest area, and they'll have like a whole food market, a bunch of it's like a whole, it's, what is it called? Like in the mall where you just have a
Mhm.
whole bunch of food.
Like a food court.
Yeah, food court. There you go. They
Yeah.
had like a huge food court, and they have like baseball on the side, so you can sit there. You go there and have batting cages, so you're just sitting there.
No shit.
Yeah, man. So like when we'd take go on drives and shit like that, and we get tired and stuff driving, stop, pull over, hit the batting cages, eat some ramen, hit the road, man.
Wow.
It was
And
fucking
that's cool
awesome.
because it's like it keeps you awake because like
Yeah,
you
you
get out and
you get active.
you start moving around, get the blood flowing.
Yeah, so I was like, man, the fucking U.S. should invest in shit like that. Like the only active thing they have are those, what are they called?
Them lot
The
lizards.
lot lizards.
Yeah. I mean that gets you real active, but it also gets you real tired at the same time. Like
Shit. So like that's the only active you're gonna get at the fucking rest areas
dude,
here.
I've pulled over a couple times and just fell asleep, but it's never
Oh,
been
for
at a
sure.
rest area. I'll always pull over somewhere more public, like just maybe like a Walmart.
Up north, the rest areas are pretty big, like New York, New Jersey.
I just don't like. I don't like sleeping there.
So what I'll do is I normally pull up. I pull up wherever. Well, on the turnpikes, they have the rest areas are pretty secluded anyway. So we just go there, and I'd sleep for like 2 hours and hit the road. I remember this. I believe it was last summer. We would always go up to New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We have family up there, so and Lovey tagged along with us, and Lovey doesn't drive, and Leanne and Elijah was still he was like 1.5. So I was the only driver, and I drove all the way up that motherfucker by
Oh
myself.
shit!
Man, and I
How many
drove.
hours is that?
It's nonstop. It's about 18.
That's a haul.
Yeah, and then but I
No
was
stops. It's just fucking 18.
yeah, I
Yeah.
drove probably 8 to 10 hours. Pulled over at a rest area and just fucking crashed
Yeah.
for about 2 3 hours and hit it again.
Yeah, my butt hates it when I do that because I have to like flip over and then,
Oh yeah,
that's what I love about my truck is I got that bench
seat
seat.
in the front.
Yeah, so I mean, I just gotta pop open a door. That's probably why I like going to like 24-hour Walmart because I'll just
Yeah,
fucking
for sure.
park right up front. Everything's lit up, and I'll just fucking crack the door, make sure the lights are off, and
Yeah.
then just fucking hang my feet out and just get off my butt completely, get on my stomach.
Yeah, one time we were at a well, in the van, the that back bench seat turns into a full size bed,
Yeah.
which is actually really nice. One of that same trip, they had the seat out back, and Leanne was able, this is on the way back, and Leanne was able to drive for like 2 or 3 hours because Elijah was sleeping, and he was hanging out with Lovey, and I got on that bed and I was out. I was just boom.
That's gonna be my next vehicle is a van.
Full size van.
A full size van.
That's
with
where
a
you
bed.
got to go, man. I mean, I love my truck, but
I
fucking love my truck.
diesel.
Yeah, but sometimes that full size van is nice. I mean, I was rolling in it today, and it's nice. My chair's underneath is under the cover because I guess
Yeah.
the VA doesn't do that cover anymore.
No, it's just complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's why my chair has fucking rust on it, and they're gonna buy me a new one.
Yeah,
My chair's only 2 years old.
Okay, so what doesn't make sense to me is the canopy's a little bit expensive. It's about I ended up paying 15 grand out of pocket
For yours?
for the canopy.
Oh
For
shit.
for the second one. They paid for the first one. Apparently it was an accident. So all in all, you do my truck setup. I have the Bruno Turney seat, which is the driver's seat that swivels out, drops down, so I can transfer onto it. And then I got a canopy that flips open to the side, like clamshells open to the side. And then there's a crane that I can operate that swings out, and it'll pick up my chair, bring it into my thing, which was also cool because they were showing me all the controls for these are on a remote. And they're like, yeah, we can just gonna hang it over the back and like reach over, grab it, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna fuck around with that. Why don't you guys just mount it into the door?
Yeah, that's how mine is.
Yeah. Um, apparently I was the first one to do that because Bruno started doing it.
Yeah, right after that, they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
we
they were like, oh yeah, we should totally do it. Because if you look at my gas truck, it's janky because they just kind of jig the thing and put the
yeah,
switch in. Because now like they have an actual switch panel.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I had no idea. I was just like, yeah, this does not make sense. Why do I want to fum around with these controls? But all in all, I would say the whole thing, the seats probably $8,000. I think the canopy's 15, and then so that's 23, and then I think the crane is like 6-ish.
yeah.
Let's call it 7. So 30 G's. They'll pay for all of that except for the canopy because it's an accessory. But they'll pay for those ATC conversions, which I want to say runs in like the 45,
Oh yeah,
50s. So a
yeah. Where the
couple,
whole fucking side comes up and you have to drive from your seat.
yeah, and Luckett had one for a while, and
I didn't know like I had one.
yeah, he had a Chevy Silverado, Crew Cab 1500, almost just like my truck, but with the ATC,
Yeah,
and he ended up getting rid of it, and he has a Toyota Sienna now.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of minivans. For me, it's mainly just because you lose so much trunk space.
I own 2, both Siennas, and I actually kind of liked them.
The Sienna is nice because like they have a lot. They have a bigger inside, so you're able to you have a
Yeah,
little more room in the cab. But with that trunk space and with Elijah, I mean, I'm not gonna end up. I'll end up taking if I put my rugby stuff in there and I have to bring a stroller. Like that's just not gonna work with all
yeah.
that. And then I wouldn't be able to put my chair anywhere because they take so much trunk space.
You'd be able to. I'm just trying to imagine everything and how I would do it. You'd be able to fold down one of the back seats,
Yeah,
and then on my 2011, you would fold down the right back seat because that was the 40,
got you.
and leaving the 60, and you could fit your rugby chair right in between, and a wheel bag right next to it behind the
And a
back
car
seat.
seat.
Yeah, you'd be able to squeeze the rugby chair in between all of that. Um, and then if you wanted, you could throw luggage on top of your rugby
Yeah,
chair, and then you would have your everyday
so much
chair.
work.
You
It's
have
so
to slide
much,
it over
so
and
much work.
then put the stroller in
It's so much work.
because you got the tourney seat.
So much
Yeah,
work. My
it
full
is.
size van just open the fucking trunk,
Right.
get my chair there.
Dude, my biggest problem was always I could never push up the ramp.
For the Sienna,
Yeah, even my 2011 Sienna, and
even with the Neo.
even with the Neo, and it was the one that folded out, so it wasn't the in floor.
Okay.
I could do it if I was completely fresh, everything was level, and I
Yeah.
could get a running start in my titanium chair. In this chair, I could probably do it 90% of the
All
time.
right, because you have more dump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a lot more stable. And that's what I love about the truck is like as long as
For sure.
I'm good to just make that transfer. It's a small
Yeah,
hop up.
mine's like a 3-inch lip.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on my diesel
three,
it's
maybe
probably
4.
3 or 4,
Yeah,
and then
it's
on my
probably
gas
4.
truck it's about a 2, and that's
Yeah.
with on my gas truck it's a 2-inch level. So without it, it would just be a fucking Steven transfer. And you also have the other, you have
a
the
link
adapt,
seat.
yeah, you have that. Which
Adapt Solutions. Yeah.
and dude, they put 2 of them in my diesel, and
And
both times when
they
I
fucking
went,
broke.
when I went to go test it out, it fucking broke at the dealership.
The
Like,
fuck?
hey, go transfer into it and test it out. And the first time, no shit, the first time I transferred into it, I heard a fucking snap, and the seat wouldn't go up. They were like, "Oh, it's not supposed to do that." And so then they replaced it, and like a month later, I went back in, transferred into it and started raising it up. It got up like 6 inches, and then I heard a fucking snap. And I was like, dude, I've owned this truck for like 7 months now. Like,
I haven't even fucking driven it.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I was just like, okay, just put the Bruno seat in, and because the Link seat goes down a little bit lower.
yeah.
And I was just like, I'll just figure out how to fucking transfer into the.
Yeah,
and
with
ended up,
the
figuring
Link
it
seat.
out.
I mean, I had it's the third one that they installed in my truck. The first one I think they ran the wires down the back a weird way, and it got pinched in the gears and just pretty much severed the
Yeah.
their main power wire. So I got stuck. I was like halfway up, and I was like,
Where were you at?
matter of fact, we were. Yeah, Leanne was at a eyeglass shop.
Oh, so you were with someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so luckily because at one time I didn't have the van, so that was my main vehicle, was that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, she manually put it in. We called the guy. He came out, left me a rental, and drove it out. That was when the company that company was actually had some pretty good customer service. Now they're pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then the second one, me and Leanne were kind of just fucking around on it. And
Yeah.
she was like, we're just kind of like, oh, I wonder if how much weight this thing can take.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
Like,
something
legit fucking around.
I was like, of course you're gonna break it.
No. And then so went up, and me and her were both on the seat at the same time. And at first, like her feet weren't off the ground, so it wasn't her full weight.
Dude, you totally just. I got this mental image I'm trying to get out of my head because she's my hermosa. Like.
You mean hermana? Hermosa means my love.
Yeah, no, sorry, my bad. My bad. Yeah, my hermana. Fuck. Yeah. But, anyways, dude, my shit broke down when I was.
Hey, girl, hey.
Howdy. She just walked in.
Now, Tim said you're hers hermosa.
Hermana. My bad. But no, dude, my seat broke down. I was coming home. Me and in September, I went out and hung out with Luckett for a while. We went to a burlesque show, and then I was driving home from Denver, and I was gonna stop in Boise for the night because it's kind of like, kind of a good stopping point. And I get outside of like Salt Lake and fucking go in, buy like 2 liters of water and a 4-pack of fucking Starbucks double shots. And then I start getting into my seat, put my chair away, and the chair starts lifting me up, and it starts swiveling in, and then it just malfunctions. And I'm losing power to the remote. And I'm like fiddle fucking with the cable in, because it's just like a telephone, wire cable, and I'm like popping it out, popping it in. It's like, and it would move like an inch at a time. And I was finally able to fucking get it in where I could like close the door and drive. But I was like, well, I guess I'm not stopping in Boise tonight.
You just have to, at that point, you have to do it all the way.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to have to go, because the guy I was going to stay with in Boise is in a chair, Spencer. He's
I know Spence.
Yeah, it's past guest of the podcast. But yeah, like I was just going to stay with Spence and then drive home. But I was like, I'm not going to be able to get, I might be able to get, I can get out one time.
But you're not able to get back in?
I'm never going to be able to get back in. So I was just like,
gravity does the work getting out.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to guide yourself.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for sure. When you got a truck, like you for sure can just guide your butt out. But then it's just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get back in. So
not without somebody lifting you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I was just like, well.
And Spence is definitely not lifting you.
No. Like his roommate might be able to, but I wasn't going to count on it. So I was just like, well, you got 4 coffees, you got 2 liters of water.
Go.
You got bottles. You got you got fresh cans of dip.
Yeah.
Fucking podcast galore. Let's just fucking drive. Like, as soon as you get tired. And, dude, I was actually almost freaked out because it was September 13th, 2019, Friday the 13th on a full moon. And I was like, man, if tonight's the night that I fucking smoke a deer and it fucking goes through the windshield, it kills me. It's going to be tonight. It's going to be tonight.
Friday the 13th.
And I was like, you know what? Fortunately, I had my fucking big-ass diesel with the big-ass grill guard and everything. And I was just like, dude, just pull over, fucking take a quick nap whenever you're tired. Don't fucking push it.
Yeah,
You got all the time.
that's the way you do it when you're driving,
Yeah.
man. This last drive that I did, going to an Invictus Games camp, we had I was out in Virginia, and I'm like, but let's just drive it. So me and Leanne got in the car, we drove it. Elijah was old enough to where Leanne was able to split the drive with me this time. So Elijah's in the back, he's just hanging out, and I'm hanging out with him. Leanne's driving, and this is on the way there. So I'm like, we're just gonna drive until 10:30, 11 o'clock, and we're gonna find a hotel.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm gonna be putting my body through hell because it was a week long. So I was like, I'm gonna put my body through hell for the next week.
Yeah.
So let me play this smart. That way my body's not already beat up when we get there. And then we did that drive in 2 days, and normally like that's a 1 day drive for us. Normally it's 14 hours.
It's all right to slow down sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's not really worth it for me. It's I'm not only thinking about myself, I'm also thinking about Leanne because Elijah's sleeping in the back and he's sleeping fine in his car seat. But who the fuck you think's got to chase him around if we don't stop and get some good rest? And I can chase him around the only time I can chase him around is if I have full open space and I'm literally chasing him until he gets tired, and then I'm putting him on my lap and taking him back because he's so fucking fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him, he's gone.
Dude, he gets after it now. It's just like.
And then, and then I'm thinking about him too. Getting some good rest is always good. So, got a hotel, slept in a real bed, not the bed in the fucking van.
Yeah. So I want to get, like with my van, I want to just straight up put in a fucking bomb-ass mattress. And just be able to live out of this motherfucker.
So,
dude, I love being on the road.
So what I was, I stayed at a friend's house a few weeks back, and, dude, they had this futon that was fucking so comfortable, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I sat in it, and I was like, fuck, I can sleep in this shit. And then, like if I had a van that, because you're saying you're thinking about getting the full-size Transit, right?
Yeah.
That van's fucking massive.
Right.
So
yeah.
you could definitely fit a fucking futon with a bunk bed on the top of that motherfucker.
Yeah, you could do a bunk. I was looking at like the dimensions and everything, and you can actually fit a queen.
Yeah.
Just a full-size queen. And there's also companies online that will custom cut a mattress.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just like.
Because what I was thinking is the good thing about like with our van is that back bed is still a seat when you hit a button. So like the futon, you can still sit three.
So I thought about that because if I did that with my Transit, with put the full-size queen in the back, I would only want to have just the driver's seat and the passenger seat. So I'd only would legally be able to carry two people with seatbelts, and I'm all right with that because.
You don't want no little chinos running around?
I mean, like at this point in my life right now, like most of the time, like I'm on the road by myself.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's just one more passenger. It's either going to be, like I've driven across the country with my brother a couple times, my dad a bunch of times, and my mom a handful of times. So it's just like, and now like it's just like having the network of friends that I do.
You have somewhere to stay everywhere you go.
Yeah, and I've already thought about it where it's like if I got a full size van, as long as I can set up my chair, man, I'll just fucking have a bucket with a fucking garbage
For
bag
sure.
and just fucking just take a Duke in my van, fucking have the fan running out, and yeah,
Oh, then a cop comes by.
be
Oh
like,
shit! What
"Go-
are you doing? Oh shit!
gonna be about an hour before I can fucking show you my ID, but
Just give me a minute.
yeah, no, I don't know, man. I just at this point in my life, I've just been like perfectly fine if I'm single because I get to fucking do everything that I want to do and just like travel as much as I want. So.
Live life, man.
Well, it's like fucking Mark Anthony says, man. Vivere mi vida.
That's it.
Right?
That's it, man. Live your life to the fullest.
Yeah, I fucking listened to that song right after I did finish that marathon. I was just
Yeah, I
like,
think Leanne saw it on your Instagram.
did that actually fucking go through?
Yeah, it
Because
did.
I was having trouble uploading because I think I didn't have like the greatest service, but I was just like,
Yeah, it did. Leanne
this
was
is
like,
what's up, man. Because after that marathon, I was just like, dude, like I've just spent the last month in Florida where I didn't have to worry about
shit.
freezing my dick off. Um,
Except at Disney.
I mean, yeah, and you know what? Like,
One day.
I'll trade that one day for having to like shovel a driveway
Oh,
in,
for sure.
Poplar Grove, Illinois, or just
I don't know
getting pissed on with the rain. It's
I don't
like,
know why the fuck people live in that. I mean, it rains here, but like, why the fuck would you want to live in the snow as a quad? There's no fucking reason.
yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. I will do Oregon. Oregon, Seattle is probably my limit because the snow.
Yeah, it doesn't really stick over
The
there.
snow's not that bad. You just got to deal with getting wet. Where like I've lived in L.A. Like so this is just as a quad. I've lived in L.A. for a couple months. Alabama for 2 years. Las Vegas for 2 years, and then like now I split my time between Oregon and Illinois, and I'm always on the road. But yeah, no, there's no explanation. Like if you're a quad and you live in a state where it snows and you have to deal with that shit, get
Why?
the fuck out.
Why?
Get the fuck out. There's plenty of options.
I mean, you have.
Make it work. And just dude,
Why?
go to Texas. Go to fucking
Phoenix.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Do something.
Florida. You have Georgia. I mean, like, it'll snow in Georgia, but it won't stick.
Yeah.
Same thing with Alabama. It'll snow a little bit in
you'll
northern
deal with it.
Alabama, but it won't stick.
I had some bad fucking pipe burst stories
Oh, yeah?
when I lived in Alabama.
And leave it leaking.
Well, dude, it's just like the apartment complex that I lived at. It was almost brand new. I think they built them in like 2013, and I moved there in 2014. They're like a year old, but both times away on a rugby trip. Not even that deep in winter, but like early spring maybe, and fucking whatever reason we got a cold spell where it dropped in like the 20s, and the fucking hose spigot outside of the apartment would freeze over and burst, and it was right by my master bedroom, master closet,
Oh, that sucks.
bathroom, and would just flood the fucking shit. Both times while I was away, 2 different buildings. Because after the first one, when I moved to Alabama, it was this apartment building, and they didn't have the accessible apartment available. Yeah. So I just moved into this other one and made it work. And then pipe burst, and then all of a sudden the handicap room became available. So
probably because their fucking pipe burst too.
So they moved, maybe. So I was able to deal with that shit and then move to the other apartment. And then when I lived there with my brother had moved in, and the fucking pipes had burst while we were coming back from Houston. And I remember having that mental thought in my head, like,
What if this fucking pipe
no,
burst
I remember putting the key in the lock. I was like, I'm going to open this door, and I'm going to smell the fucking mildew
from the water?
because the fucking pipes burst. And I was
Sure.
like, this is going to happen. I fucking opened the door. Sure enough, man, I was just like, and I remember just verbally saying, no. My brother's like, what? I was like, you smell that? He's like, yeah, what? I was like, it's a fucking pipe that burst. I was like, go feel the carpet in my room. It's going to be wet as shit. And yeah, sure enough, I was just like, all right, we're done here. We're out. And it was just like a bunch of different circumstances, but I was just like, yeah, I'm done in Alabama.
Where were you living in Alabama?
Oh, 14 to 16.
Okay, so you moved there right as I got hurt.
When did you get hurt?
July 17th, 2014.
July 17? Yeah, I had already just moved out. You got hurt in 17?
Oh, 14. July 17th, 14.
Oh, okay. 14 July. Yeah, I just moved there in October. Yeah, I landed there I think maybe right at the end of September.
Yeah, so like yeah, I got
How did you get hurt?
car accident. I was
Yeah.
driving shitty day at work. I'm like, all right, let's just go ahead and go to the movies, decompress. It was myself, my wife Leanne, and as I'm leaving my house, my soldier calls me. She's like, "Hey, son, Rod, I'm locked out of the barracks. What do I do?" I said, "Okay, these are your two options. I'm going to Dothan to go watch a movie."
You remember what movie?
Yeah, it was The Purge, Anarchy.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
So then we go watch The Purge. Well, she calls me. She's like, "Hey, I'm locked out." I said, "These are your options. I call First Sergeant, get a key, or you can just come with me to Dothan. I'm going to go watch a movie." She's like, "Well, fuck it. I'll go watch the movie. I don't got anything else to do. We're out of shift already." And then I'm like, "All right, fine." So I pick her up. Her roommate gets there at, her roommate was working night shift, so she would have got there at like 12:30ish at night.
Yeah.
So we watch The Purge. We leave. We're on the road, and this animal comes out. You know, me and Leanne have mixed thoughts about it. She says it could have been a deer or like a bobcat or something like that, but in my opinion, it was too big to be a fucking bobcat, too small to be a deer. So I'm like, I was like, fuck, we're gonna just settle this, and we're just gonna say it was the chupacabra.
Oh, Chupacabra, man. He'll do it.
Chupacabra, man. And then so jumped out. Probably I was doing 70, which speed limit was 65. I was doing 5 over, and this thing jumped out faster than like a blink of an eye, man.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't there. I looked up and it was right there. I swerved. I swerved left, caught some gravel. My back end slid out from under me. By the time I got control of the car and we're facing the right direction, we're sliding into a ditch. We hit the ditch and we roll about 3 or 4 times. And
What kind of car were you in again?
it was a Scion TC. It was Leanne's car, actually.
Oh shit! Those little toaster boxes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a toaster box. It was
the TCs.
the TC's
yeah.
their
The little
sport one.
sporty.
Yeah.
Yeah. My stepsister has one.
Yeah, and then it actually, to be honest with you, some people would say that distracted driving and stuff like that, but dude, the radio wasn't on. My cell phone was in the fucking was in the center console. I wasn't touching anything. There was no distraction there. I just freak accident, man. And I didn't get knocked out for any of it, so I remember all of it.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. A little little PTSD from the just like when I'm in a
No, I
when
would
I'm driving.
imagine.
When I'm
Yeah.
driving and you hit a road that's dark with no lights.
Because of what time of day do you think this was?
This was at night. It was 11 something.
Late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
dark, especially out there.
yeah, there
Because
there's
it's like there's no
there
street
ain't shit
lights or
over
nothing.
there
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah. That's why like I don't know what kind of lights you got in your truck, but I got the fucking rigid fog lights.
I need to get some fog lights.
Oh, dude, go rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll show you my fog lights. Dude, it's brighter than my high beams. And they're DOT approved.
Yeah.
So man, like anytime at night, I just flip on my fogs and it fucking is lit the fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little PTSD from it, but I'm all right. Not enough to like. Now, there have been times where I wasn't driving and I see an animal jump in the middle of the road, and right there, like everything just kind of flashes
Dude,
right in front of my eyes.
you know what's crazy, man? I'm gonna knock on wood too, 'cause like I haven't had any close encounters ever out of all my miles on the road
Yeah.
and all over the western states and everything. I I've seen animals, but never anything that just jumped in front of me or anything crazy like that. So
Shit, that
like
happened.
knock on wood, like
So this last summer it was me, Lily, well, Leanne's mom, Leanne, and Bobby, and we're driving. We're driving up north to go see his brother and see his sister, and I'm co-piloting for Lily. We're in Pennsylvania, and sure enough, it was probably around the same fucking time, dude. And I want to say it was a baby excuse me, a baby bear.
oh yeah, like a little black bear.
Yeah, a little cub, and and Lily's like, it's like just hit it, just fucking hit it. She's hits that shit.
Smoked it.
Oh,
Yeah.
had to, and I mean my fog lights in my van are just fucking out now.
Oh, it took him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, just replace him with some rigids.
Yeah. So that was my second encounter, but I wasn't driving, so I didn't necessarily freak out because I wasn't the one
Yeah.
behind the wheel. But and Lily felt so bad. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Lily,
Eh,
there's nothing you can do."
yeah.
I mean,
It's him or us.
I'd rather it be him. Elijah.
That's what told like when we were out in Utah. Like my mom was driving my gas truck and she swerved because we were coming. We were doing a movement. I think we were going from. No, yeah. We stayed in this town outside of Arches, like Green River or something, Utah, and we would have to drive like 30 minutes to Arches. We were driving back from Arches because we were staying at this other hotel, and she kept swerving for these bunnies. I was like,
Hit
Mom,
those motherfuckers.
anything smaller than a dog, who gives a fuck?
They're rodents.
I'll run the shit out of a cat. I don't give a fuck. But a dog, like, I'll actually actively try to avoid.
Yeah.
But a cat or a squirrel, raccoon, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm hitting you. And I've always kind of played the scenario out where it's like, if I hit a corner and there's a big-ass fucking elk or whatever in the way, I'm speeding the fuck up. And I'm going to fucking just trust that my bumper's going to do the job.
Oh yeah, with your fucking big ass truck, I think you'd be all right.
Hopefully. Because, dude, I did have a buddy in high school, man. He lost his grandma because she smoked a horse. And it went through the fucking windshield and out the fucking back windshield
Oh,
with her in the driver's seat. So you imagine what happened.
Oh.
With a horse, that much pound of fucking steak. Yeah. I was just like, yeah.
Fuck.
I'm speeding up. Like, yeah. Anything that big.
Yeah. I mean, I learned now. I'm just gonna fucking hit it.
Right? Yeah.
Learned the hard way, right?
Yeah. Some of those things you just gotta learn, man. So
Yeah.
after the accident, did they take you to Tampa or?
No, actually, after the accident, we rehabbed in want to say it's Southern Alabama Medical Center. Yeah,
What town was
CMC.
that?
In Dothan.
Okay.
So they fused my neck. There's the only neurologist in pretty much that southeast corner of Alabama.
Like 80 square mile,
Yeah.
whatever.
So luckily he was right there, and I got lucky where I got into a car accident. My car was in the middle of 3 different counties. So I had 3 different fire departments respond. Leanne, thank God, was okay. My soldier walked out with a bruised lung and
Wow.
bruised lung and maybe a little concussion.
It's crazy, like modern vehicles.
Yeah.
Now.
And then Leanne, I still remember Leanne's voice. She's like, Joel, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of the car. And I'm like, well, I can't move my legs. I'll stay able to move my arms. At that point, she was like, what do you mean you can't move my legs? I said, I can't move my legs. And coming from her, she was in nursing school, and me being a firefighter, we already automatically knew that, okay.
Yeah, you connected the dots.
Yeah, and Leanne was like, we get into the ambulance, and she tells this story better than I do, and she's like, hey, where's that ambulance going? Because I was in a different ambulance, because her and my soldier in one, and I was in a different one. And she's like, well, we're going to Flowers. That one is going to, excuse me. He's like, that one's going to SAMC. And she's like, well, call your dispatcher and say you're going to SAMC because that's my husband and I'm not leaving without him.
Yeah.
And so they transferred her to SAMC instead. And because she knew automatically because she had just finished clinicals in that hospital.
Okay.
Like 2 days before I was there or before we were there. And she was like, well, that's the only neurologist in Dothan, so we got to go there. We go there, and then he fixed my neck. I was there for 3 days, and they sent me to Brooks Rehab.
Oh, wow.
Jacksonville.
Only 3 days? It's like
Yeah.
ICU 3 days?
Yep.
Oh, shit. That might be the shortest stint I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was in ICU for 3 days.
So I want to say I was in for like 15. For at least the entire duration of the 2008 Olympics.
Yeah, no.
And that takes place over 10 days about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I was 15 days, I want to say.
Yeah, and then I was there in ICU for 3 days. So the day I got out of surgery was July 19th in the morning, and that was my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went into surgery around 8 a.m. on the 18th. And, well, I wouldn't say by the time I got out of surgery. I'd say by the time I came to after surgery.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 in the morning or something like that. And all the nurses were in that, all the ICU nurses had brought me, like, cake and cupcakes.
Oh, right.
And sung me a happy birthday. And I remember the doc was like, the neurologist was like, well, you really shouldn't eat that after surgery, but it's your birthday.
Right.
It's like, do what you want.
Dude,
All right, cool.
I got hurt about a month before my 21st birthday. And Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the PVA rep for San Diego at the time. And he we had met like before my birthday and everything, but then on my birthday I remember him
Oh yeah, I remember this story.
Yeah. he came up and was like, hey man, hey Devil Dog, like just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and everything. It's like your 21st. And he got me this like flask, and it was like still in the box and everything. And I was like, oh dude, I opened it up and everything and like pulled it out of the box and like held the flask in my hand. I was like, it's a little heavy. This has got something in it. He's like, enjoy yourself. I was like, all right. And then my boys from MOS school fucking showed up. And we went out to the smoke pit, and they had brought a bottle with them. And like, yeah, I remember just getting kind of. It was actually the first time I actually really got fucked up.
Not mine.
After my injury.
Oh, for sure. After my injury, I don't think
It was my 21st birthday.
Oh,
At the
for
hospital,
sure.
dude. I got twisted, and then
I mean, if you
I went out to dinner. My dad rented because my dad was down there. He rented a ramp van because at the time I was still in a power chair, so I wasn't transferring like into fucking
yeah,
cabs and
no,
shit
for
like
sure.
that, like So I was like still in a power chair, and he fucking rented a ramp van, and we went out to Red Robin's, and I had a fucking beer stein with him. Just remember fucking totally just pissing myself the entire day. It's just like, first time you're having alcohol, you're just like,
Oh,
oh shit, I gotta go pee. And like by the time you get to the bathroom, it's just like, ah, fuck.
I
Just
mean,
pissed all over myself.
they say like Steve Service calls me this all the time. He's like, or he used to call me a quad baby because I started playing rugby uh, the same year I got hurt, like 11 months post injury,
Oh yeah.
and he's like, how long you been hurt? And I was like, about to hit a year. You're a
Yeah.
fucking quad baby.
Oh yeah.
You're you're still learning how to shit and piss.
Yeah. I went to my first vet games. I wasn't even a year out.
Same here.
Yeah, it wasn't even a year out. I want to say I was probably just right at 11.
I was at 11 too,
Mhm.
because
What was your first one?
my first one I believe was Dallas.
Is that where we met?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you got hurt in 14. It
For-
took you. What were you doing in between then? And then
So
how did you discover like sports?
so for me, sports came at Brooks. At Brooks Rehab in Jacksonville, I had a well, this was actually when I found rugby too. Um I mean, I've known about wheelchair basketball and shit. I just didn't know there was so many wheelchair sports out there. Shit that I've never even thought of. But either way, I'm sitting there and she was my rec therapist, and I'm just sitting there in this fucking hospital, like 2 weeks post injury. She's like, "Hey, I got a sport that I think you'd enjoy." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, whatever, fine." No, she was like, "I'm gonna take you to one of their practices. It's, our club team." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go up there and I see these fucking guys just, fucking hitting each
This
other.
is 14.
Yeah, this is at
So
14.
Chris Hall is still there.
Chris Hall was there, but he actually wasn't at that practice because he was at the vet games. I think it was Philly.
Cody was still there.
Cody was there.
Yeah.
Ronnie, Steven was there.
Mhm.
Um, and at that time, the guy who kind of took me under their wing was Steve Kenny.
Oh yeah.
I just
Yeah,
came.
great guy.
Yeah, so I just came in this hospital, and he's would come in my room every day. Yeah, how you doing?
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, I'm doing all right. He's like, getting any stronger? I'm like, a little bit. Now that I think about it, he was probably scoping me out. He probably was like, I knew this guy was
You
a
know
quad.
what's fucking crazy is that can't happen sometimes in some states. It's actually like illegal for not just like recruitment purposes, but for like some bullshit privacy thing where it's like
Oh yeah, I know
you're not supposed to visit newly injured guys.
And
And I think that's so detrimental.
but he's also I know he I believe works for Brooks, so he was an
Yeah.
employee, and I guess he probably heard like
Okay.
new
Yeah,
quad.
they do have to, because I remember Chris talking like he's got to do like a mentorship course thing, and then they can go talk. Yeah.
So
But I know in like Alabama, like they're not allowed to go. Like if you hear about someone getting injured, like you're not allowed to go and
visit him.
visit.
That is
Yeah.
detrimental. That's detrimental to your recovery, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, it 100% is.
I mean, I learned so much by other quads.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
Like, I always equate this to, like, and I brought this up on the show before, but it's like every rugby team, on average, you add up everyone's cripple year, 40 plus, across the board, easily.
Yeah.
And then, like, you add up like eight average quads is gonna have 40 years of experience of quad life. There is no doctor on fucking earth
No.
that has that real life pressure tested quad cripple experience.
I mean, yeah, I mean my PT when I got transferred here after Brooks, I was in Brooks for 3 weeks. So that's where I found rugby, and then I was at Brooks for 3 weeks, and then DOD called up and was like, "Hey, you have to transfer him to a VA. Like, there's no choice. You have to be at a
Oh,
VA."
no shit.
And at that time is when you turn on the news and everything was like negative with the VA and shit.
Yeah. I'm surprised the DOD got involved. Like,
Well, I mean the reason why DOD got involved is because I was in a private facility, so
yeah.
I'm assuming it's not cheap, but
I guess.
for a private facility, and at that time, I mean Tampa's actually like the southeastern hub for spinal cord injury, so
Yeah.
they sent me there, and at first I was skeptical, and I remember I met my PT, and he says this story too, that he knew I was kind of motivated to put in work, because he comes inside the room and he's like, "Hey, so I'm gonna be your PT. I'm Mike Firestone," and he's like, "Hey, I will have a chair for you." I got there on a Friday. He was like, "I'll get a chair for you on Monday," and I looked at him. I was like, "I'm not staying in this bed for 2 days."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I was like, "I'm not staying in this bed for 2 days. I, I'm letting you know right now, I will not be in this bed for 2 days."
yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." He's like, "All right." He grabs me, like just grabs probably the first power chair he sees, and he's like, "Here, you can use this, and we'll fit you for a good one on Monday."
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So you went through the power share route too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You
mean,
gotta defeat that, like that mental mindset.
yeah, and at
like,
that point, like, I could barely move my arms at that point. Like,
yeah,
I
I was
had
the same way,
no
dude.
strength,
I
dude.
went home from the VA after 3 months in a power chair. I was just like, oh, this is my life now. I'm gonna be a fucking dude that gets around on a joystick.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I got involved with rugby when I met Kip Johnson and my dad and his dad started talking, and then it was after that tournament, like my dad was just like, "Hey, I just met Gordy, and Kip is a C5 with 0 tricep, and he pushes around with his power assist wheels. Maybe you should give it a fucking go." I was like, "Well, yeah, that
Sure.
sounds awesome." And I think that was the last day I used my power chair as a full-time thing. I started getting in my power assist, eventually worked up to a manual, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way now.
Yeah. I wouldn't go back to a power chair. I mean, I had a power chair because the VA sent me home with one, and I had it sitting there for like 2 years. It was never touched.
Yeah, ever.
No.
Yeah, I used to cruise around in one just because of the blood pressure issues and everything.
Yeah, and then
But
I mean, when my PT, he's like, "Hey, so what are your goals?" I said, "To get out of this big ass chair." And I
yeah,
was like, "I want to get in a manual chair." He
yeah.
was like, "All right."
Now, was there any moment like during your injury where you were like, "I'm just gonna recover from this and get back after it"?
Um, I mean, I figured,
Were you always just kind of like a realist with it?
yeah, like let's
Yeah,
see what happens. I know it's a possibility, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna focus solely on my legs. And the day I got hurt, I just ran 4 miles like that morning.
mm.
So all my buddies, some of them went to AIT with me. Some of them were stationed in Korea with me, or moved to Fort Rucker with me as well. And they're all like, "Hey, man," they're texting me like, "Are his legs working?" Like,
Yeah.
Joel's a runner. Are his legs working? And I'm like, "Dude, I don't give a fuck about my legs as long as my hands start to work." Like,
All
what the
right.
fuck do you really do with your legs except walk and run? Like, those are
Yeah.
only 2 things you do with your legs. I was like, how much do you do with your hands?
Damn. Yeah. See, I didn't even have that like foresight because I remember the PT was more focused on like bottom level stuff, and then
OT was upper.
was doing the small micro shit, like learning how to feed yourself and how to
Yeah.
fucking brush your teeth and shave and shit. And like I was just like, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like I just want to learn how to walk. I'm gonna fucking be all right.
Yeah.
Like, recover and everything. I'm gonna be back. You know, fucking. I'm gonna be a Marine. And
I had that in the beginning, the very beginning for sure.
yeah.
But
And looking back now, I'm like, dude, the OT was everything. And that was the first time I ever learned what OT was when I got hurt. And like they're like, hey, this is occupational therapy. We're gonna teach you how to pick up shit with tenodesis. And I was just like, I can't even spell that fucking word. So
for sure,
get the fuck out of my face. Like, get me on them parallel bars, cause like I'm ready to just start learning how to walk again.
Yeah, and then you know what I liked about my OT is my PT, he like put you in real shit situations, like transfer onto this it was the mat. Transfer onto the mat, and I'm like, why do I transfer? Why do you want me to transfer onto the mat? He's like, you gotta end up having to transfer on your own eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Transfer onto the mat, and he's like, all right, now you're on the mat. Roll over. Dude, hours. Just
dude, it honestly, when I left there, I was still doing sliding board transfers and everything, and like I just had to kind of pick up things, and a lot of it was.
When I left there, I was
rugby.
still on sliding board too.
Yeah, a lot of it was just through rugby, where it's just like, oh, this is how you transfer.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I got out. I was in the VA for 8 months.
Oh wow.
I started going to the Tampa General practices my 9th month.
That's similar to me. I got hurt in July 2008, and then I went to my first rugby practice in February 2009. So I can't do the math, but I want to say that's 7.
7 months.
Yeah.
Wait, July. That's 5 months. Yeah, 7.
Dude, what was super embarrassing was I didn't have my own fucking gym clothes or anything. So when I went to my first practice, it was in February, so it was still cold. And so all I had was my fucking pickle suit PT gear. So I had my fucking, issued Go Fasters and my fucking green weenie sweatpants, green weenie fucking crew cut sweater, and then my the Under Armour type
beanie
PT shirt.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and just fucking showed up to this practice, and the news crew fucking happened to be there, and they wanted to interview me because I was like, oh, a fresh injury Marine Corps veteran. We're gonna interview him. So I got this. If you fucking dig deep enough, you can Google this and find all this shit on Google. But my very first rugby practice, and so I had LASIK done like 9 months after my injury or so, something like that. But my first practice, I still had my BCGs. Straight up embarrassing, man. So hold that thought. I gotta go piss so bad. All right, so we're back. We're gonna get this thing back on the rails too, because we've just been all over the place this episode. Which, you know what, I'm totally fine with, because that's the shit that I enjoy, is just bullshitting with an old homie. But we're gonna bring it back. How did you first get involved with rugby?
So my first exposure to it was at Brooks, like I said earlier, and then Davis Celestine.
Oh yeah, of course.
So he's actually the Gulf Coast chapter president for the PVA.
Yeah.
And then he came into my room one day and was like, "Hey, so when you're ready, let me know and I'll take you to practice."
Mm.
So I was like, "All right, cool." It was, like I said, like just at 9 months. And matter of fact, they're practicing for sectionals.
Okay.
So it was February.
Yeah, that's when I hooked up with Portland, and they were like, "We're not gonna be able to hook you up with too much playing time because they were
Yeah, it was
focusing on their own shit." And I was just like, "Dude, I'm just happy to be here. I'll fucking do warm ups and everything." Like,
yeah, and it was crazy. It was they were practicing for sectionals, and they were short one man. I was their eighth man,
okay.
so it was like just
And
go
what
there
year
and
was this?
occupy
This was
space.
15.
Yeah, I want to say 15 February 15.
Okay, I'm just trying to just put
So
myself in the story where I was. I was at Lakeshore.
yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
February.
my first year at Lakeshore.
Yeah, February 15. So it was right at
And Nationals was in Houston that year. Or no, they were in Louisville.
in Louisville.
Yeah, at
Houston was the next year.
at that janky ass gym.
I didn't get to see it, but and then we were there. So they pretty much just threw me in the fire right away. They're like, "Well, we need an 8-man, so good job, kid. Go ahead, go for it."
You guys had an import too, right?
That year,
Was it Levy?
no, that year we didn't have Levy.
Nobody.
No, we didn't have an import at all.
I'm just trying to remember who won the championship that year. It might have been maybe Phoenix, maybe Minnesota. I that year is weird. I know we finished fourth. That was my first year that I didn't place at nationals, either D1 or D2. Because I mean, I got thrown into the flames right away. I was on my first 4 years with Portland. We were D1 runner-ups.
Okay.
We lost to Riley Bat twice. We lost to Chuck Yogi twice, and then we brought in Lars. We lost one with Lars, and then the first year I left, they won finally. So I technically have never won a national championship.
Me neither.
Which is it's not everything.
No, no, for sure not.
I don't measure myself by that standard at all. But
And then,
going back to your story,
and then
what drew you to the sport? Like
well, I played sports my whole life. Played basketball, football, baseball.
team sports.
Yeah, team sports.
Yeah.
And initially I was like, well, I want to play basketball if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm nowhere nearly as strong as I am now.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the triceps like that. So they're like, well, you have quad rugby, and I was like, okay. Well, at that point, I'm like, what the fuck's a quad? Like to me, I'm thinking quads like Christopher Reeves or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, you're a quad. Let me see your hands. And I'm like, okay. And yeah. And then once they said, well, you can play this sport, and I'm like, all right, well, yeah, for sure.
Anyone ever show you like Murder Ball?
No, they told me about the movie, but they never showed it to me yet. Well, they did when I was at the VA, actually. The VA I saw it once, and then
That was like one of my Netflix red envelope movies.
yeah,
Murder Ball.
yeah, man. And once I got involved with the sport, I fell in love with it. My first actual game was at the wheelchair games.
Yeah, this was 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, 2015.
That's when we met.
Yep.
We could tell that story.
How
did we meet?
On a bus.
Yeah, we met on
bus
a
and transport.
we're going
you're
coming back from swimming.
Yeah, I think so. And you're sitting there and looked at me and you're like, you knew? I'm like, yeah, this is your face. You a quad? Yeah. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I vaguely remember this, but it sounds plausible. It sounds like something I would do.
And then I'm like, all right. You look again. You look towards the front of the bus again. You play rugby? Yeah. Who do you play for? Well, I'm going to start playing for the Tampa Generals. End conversation.
Like, all right.
End conversation. And then, well, actually that year I remember I told him like, hey, I want to play next season, but I don't think I have the skills to go to play competitive, so I'd rather be recreational. And then after I had my first game at the vet games, they're like, I sent a text to Justin Stark. I was like, hey man, I'm so down to play this every fucking day.
Whose team were you on that year?
I was actually in Jeremiah's.
Oh yeah, he had
It was me, Jeremiah.
a bad last day. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I won't get into details, but he had a quote unquote shitty day. His last day. I don't even remember whose team I was on. With Dallas, dude, I've been so fucking many that. No, man, I do remember meeting you. And you were a kick-ass swimmer, especially, coming to find out that you had only been hurt less than a year. I was like, this motherfucker's ready in a pool, because it took me. I mean, I got hurt in '08, dude, and I got in a pool, like, initially, swam around and shit. I think my RT kind of freaked me out, because she's like, there's accidents that are possible in the pool. So the whole time I'm thinking about, like, oh, dude,
Don't shit myself.
don't fucking drop a fucking brownie. Don't drop a fucking brown submarine in the pool. Don't drop it. But I didn't really learn how to swim until I moved to Lakeshore. So
Oh yeah, with that pool's so fucking sweet.
dude, every now, like, when I go to tryouts, I'm like, most likely gonna get cut. I'm gonna bring some fucking swimming trunks. I'm at least gonna go in the fucking hot tub.
Oh, for sure.
Cause yeah. So I learned I learned actually how to swim in that pool. I want to say that was 2015. Bob Lujano's wife actually taught me how to swim.
Okay.
Cause she's a swim instructor down at the
Lakeshore Foundation.
Yeah. And so dude, and that was one of my gateway drugs, because I was like, I can do so many sports. I can play rugby. I can, track. I can fucking hand cycle. All those involve wheels and wheelchairs.
Yep.
But when I get in the pool, man, I'm just like, dude, it's me and my body
Yep.
again. Finally, like, and that's what always has, like, gravitated me towards, like, scuba diving.
Yeah, for sure.
Was like, dude, I'm completely independent of a wheelchair.
For sure. You don't have no wheels. Nothing. You're weightless.
Yeah.
And I've always been a great swimmer. My mom always brags that I was swimming with no floaties at 2 year old. So
Dude, I wish I would have pursued competitive swimming when I was in high school.
me too. To be honest with you, I mean that was at 9 years old, they made me a junior lifeguard at like the local, like one of the pools there.
Yeah.
And then I actually scared the crap out of my mom when she found that I didn't need floaties anymore. She said I just ran into a pool and jumped inside.
Mm-hmm.
She said, and then I just swam up, and she was like, well, I don't need any of these anymore.
Damn, you might be like the most amphibious soldier I know.
Yeah, and then they're like, all right. And then, after injury, I get in the water, and Leanne, my mom, actually started crying. I get in the water, and he was a KT guy, and he's like, you seem like you're really comfortable. I'm going to let you go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he let me go, and I floated there. I swam a couple laps, and my mom and Leanne just started crying right away. My mom, especially because, she sees me as I'm the youngest, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm her baby. And she's like, seeing him in the water again, just gave her some sentiments,
Yeah.
kind of like my, guess you could say like your rebirth day, your alive day,
Yeah.
so, and after that, he was like, you're going to the wheelchair games, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, you should sign up for swimming.
You rocked it that year.
I was like, okay, fine, sure.
Yeah, I mean, because you went in as a novice.
Yeah.
But I from what I remember, you still beat everyone else.
Except Gabe.
Dude, OG, like
Nobody fucking beats Gabe, man.
Nobody fucks with Gabe. Yeah, I just did a podcast with Carlos, and I didn't know this about Carlos, but he was a Paralympic thrower.
Yeah.
And Gabe was the one that got him introduced to the sport. because Carlos was like fresh injury in '05 or something, and went out to San Diego for like a Paralympic, like introductory to Paralympic sport. And Gabe was there throwing. Was like, "Yo, Carlos, like you got something in you. Like if you want to fucking pursue this,
Yeah.
you can go far, you know." And
He did. He went to the
I've been saying this, man. I need to get him on the fucking podcast. I need to do a big Texas tour because there's a lot of
Like
guys in
Gabe.
Texas that I need to do, but Gabe is on the top of my list.
Gabe's an OG for real. I mean, he talks, back in his days when he started playing rugby.
88, man.
Yeah.
I was born in 87, you know.
Yeah, he's been. I tell everybody, I'm like, yeah, he's been playing rugby longer than I've been alive. I was born in '89.
Right? Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, still getting it, man.
Stud on the tennis, table tennis.
Table tennis.
circus.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. And stud at bowling too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me about because they're making bowling a Paralympic sport. He was,
Dude, for the Portland Vet Games, I'm trying to convince everyone, let's just sign up for bowling, and all go out there. We can drink if we want to drink, smoke if we want to smoke, and then just fucking just have a good time. Just at least all have one event together.
that'd be pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we all got one to burn. Like nobody signed up because you're limited to 5 events. And I was thinking, like, being in Portland and everything, like medal chasing and everything. And I was just like, dude, I just want to go and just have fun. So,
Yeah, man.
obviously, I'm going to sign up for rugby. I'm going to sign up for slalom.
You gotta sign up for rugby,
Nine
man. I've won the last 2 in a row.
Oh, we'll
Gotta
take care of
repeat.
that. We can take care of that.
Repeat.
Yeah. There was a time where I cared so much about the
Yeah,
rugby
I'm the
thing.
same way.
And now I'm just like, dude, I'm just there to be a mentor
I
and
do the
to
same thing.
get people hooked onto the sport.
I mean, we got Birch involved. Remember that
yeah
when
oh,
Birch
yeah.
came on?
Yeah, man,
like,
dude.
he could
That's been really cool about the vet games, and then just with like the militia community was just
Yeah,
being able to just see like the guys that like, and that dude, that's honestly what makes the militia unique was because that happened in 2012. We started, and it came out was just like, dude, what if we took the creme de la creme from the vet games, put them on one team? Can we compete? And yeah, it
I
fucking
mean, we definitely can.
that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Dude, it was really great how like the origins of our story. And like yeah, dude, it's been incredible the last few. I mean, I've missed out on the last few years through like because I was on like Team US in 17.
Then I remember the last one you went to.
Decided to skip 18 for whatever reason. 19 was Orlando. I played one game, got a staph infection.
That was 18. 18 was Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
19 was Louisville.
Okay, yeah. So 17 I was on Team US and I had a
Yeah.
camp that weekend. That was Cincinnati.
18 you had the
was
staff.
Orlando, so my shoulder blew up.
You had a fucking
And
sausage
then,
fingers.
and then, yeah, dude, it's disgusting. Yeah, and shout out to your family, man. You guys fucking brought me some of that Puerto Rican soup, whatever that was.
Yeah, of course,
And
man.
some shit, man. It was it made my day, man. I was just like, God.
We take care of our own. That's how we do it, man. Especially at my hometown.
Right, yeah.
Like-
I expect the same hospitality when you guys come to Portland.
Well, I'm hoping I won't end up in the fucking VA though.
It ain't that bad.
I don't want
but
that much
no,
hospitality.
You don't want that. Yeah, no.
You can keep the Oregon VA.
At least just come up for the.
I've never eaten Lao food.
Oh, we'll do. Yeah, we can do that.
I've never eaten Lao food, and I've been wanting to.
Yeah, Mama San will hook it up with some like sticky rice. We'll do some like Lao sausage, some like Lao beef jerky. Just nothing too heavy, but
I'm down, man.
I'm thinking like when we get the whole crew over, like either before the games or right after the games. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do a big ass barbecue at my joint and
That'd be sweet.
get a couple kegs and we'll shoot a couple games of fucking beer pong or whatever. And no, man. So keeping it back on track, like, so you got introduced with the vet games. How did you get involved with like the Warrior games?
So actually, so when I got hurt, I was active duty, and the RT for the I think it was Fort Stewart. Yeah, Fort Stewart. She would come down with like the first sergeant major, those guys,
Yeah.
and she'd come down and she'd check up on me and stuff like that, and she'd say like, she's like, hey, you know, if you want to play sports here, you know, when you're ready, just let me know, let me know, let me know. And then I got out. When I got out the hospital, I just didn't feel like I had that. I didn't feel like I had sports in me, like at that level, like at the
Okay.
warrior game level, and because you know she's talking about tryouts, and I'm like, well, I don't think I'd be able to make it right now, like
Yeah.
tryouts, like nah, I think I got more in me, and um, I waited a year, and then I tried out, and I made it to because they have your regional and then they have army trials. I made it to the regional, but Leanne was pregnant. Actually, I went to the regional. Leanne was pregnant, and then during army trials, which they invited me to, Leanne was about to give birth.
Mm.
So I'm like, not gonna, no, not gonna go there right now. I'm gonna have to skip out. She's like, okay, um, I'm sorry to hear about that. We'll keep you in mind for next year. And then that year, I don't know, I was just kind of like in a little bit of a funk.
This was 15 or
This right now we're in 17 now.
okay.
I was just in a little bit of a funk. I didn't really want to go.
No, it wasn't 17.
Yeah, Elijah was born 17. No, I had to be 18. Yeah, 18.
Okay, yeah.
18. And 18, I was just in a little bit of a funk, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to go. Leanne actually signed me up. And I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll go. Um, okay, I'm lying. I'm getting 19 mixed up. On 18, I went to actual army trials that year. Elijah was just about to turn 1. As a matter of fact, it was his first birthday, so we're at 18 right now. And they called me up at like, I don't know, middle of the day, whatever. And they're like, "Hey, I'm sorry to say, but you didn't make the team." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I got gold in every event that I did. I
Yeah.
did 10 events and I got gold in every single one. And so they cut me that year, and then the next year, 2019, I'm like, I don't really want to do this. I guess it was probably just the to be honest with you, I want to say the way I had the 2018 season just affected me a little bit, and then the 2019 season, we had just started the militia, like we just became a sanctioned team,
Yeah.
and I just had a lot of shit going on. And Leanne was like, "No, you're gonna go," and she pretty much did all my paperwork. I was like, "You want me to go? Then you fill out my paperwork. I'm not doing it." She filled out all my paperwork, got it signed, everything, sent it in, and then I went to regional trials again, and that year they had rugby.
Yeah.
2019 was the first year they had rugby, so that was actually the excuse on why I didn't make the 2018. They said
What were the other events you were doing besides
I did rugby,
swimming?
swimming, and the swimming I do the 50 free, 50 back, and the 100 free. Um, I tried to do the breaststroke one year and I almost drowned, so I just got rid of that
I've
shit.
medaled in the breaststroke because I was the only one that ever finished as a 1A.
Yeah, so I tried to do the breaststroke and almost drowned.
Same with the butterfly.
So I'm
They're
like,
like, this motherfucker is gonna drown. I was like, I'm drown proof. Like, I'm not gonna drown. Just give me enough time. It's
to
gonna look
make it.
ugly. Just don't touch me because I'm gonna finish.
So yeah, and then after that, I'm like, I'm not doing this fucking shit again. Um, and then what else? For Invictus, I did wheelchair racing, and in 2018, I tried in wheelchair racing, but in 2019, I knew it was gonna be in Tampa, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sit out all
Yeah.
fucking day. um, in that heat, waiting for my heat.
Because swimming's a grind, man. That's why I don't do it anymore. It's
Oh,
like,
not only that, but I'm talking about wheelchair racing in the field.
yeah,
It's
even
just too
that
hot,
too.
man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I didn't do that one in Warrior Games, and ironically, I did less and made the team.
Right.
Normally it's the opposite, but I didn't do wheelchair racing that year. So, but I did do indoor rowing.
Yeah.
Which
That's a tough one.
indoor rowing sucks.
I
But
just bought a rower maybe about a year ago.
yeah. Now imagine doing a 1 minute, 100% all you got, like nonstop.
No,
Dude.
no, thank you.
Yeah, that's the 1 minute sprint, and then now
Yeah.
they have a 4 minute endurance sprint,
Right.
and
yeah.
that's pretty much just you
Animals.
go about like 80% for 3 minutes, and then the last minute you go 100.
Even then, dude, like, cause like I've been in enough like Team USA tryouts where it's like you're trying to do the Lakeshore Mile.
Yeah,
And it's like you got to time it because like you don't want to leave too much in the tank. You don't want to burn out too early. And it's just like, dude, I've been trying to break 10 minutes for a while.
yeah.
And like the best time I ever got was like maybe like a 10:30. Even self time because like when I lived there, I would always be up at the thing and I would always either start my session with the mile or end my session with the mile.
Yeah, I mean, out here pushing in the street, I'm like at a 10-minute mile mark right now.
That's pretty good, man. Especially
On the
out
street.
on the road, yeah. Because that marathon I just did, I want to say my pace was about like a 12:30-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'll push. It takes me about 55 minutes to push 5 miles, but that's the last mile. Actually, the first mile is like I always use my warm up mile, so it's like just a cool, relaxed pace, not too fast. Just
what
to get warm.
what motivates you with like rugby right now?
Well, rugby, of course. I want to play at the top level here.
Yeah.
And then, USA, of course. That's the ultimate goal. That's what I'm doing it for.
Are those your goals? Like,
I mean,
for
yeah.
real, for real?
Yeah, for real. Like,
Yeah.
And, I don't think it's out of my grasp. I think it's a realistic goal.
Completely. No, I would 100% agree.
I think that, especially in the last two seasons, I've come back at the end of, the beginning of the next season, just stronger and faster.
Yeah.
So.
Why do you think you haven't been invited to like tryouts?
I think some of it has to do with some politics.
A little bit, maybe.
A little bit politics. I've heard.
The one slot.
And the one slot's
You know what
difficult.
sucks, man, is because you got internationally classed last year.
As a 1.5, yeah, I know.
As a 1.5, which like totally sucks a lot of dick.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a 1.5, but.
And I hope that doesn't affect you into consideration for Team US. But you know what's going to happen after this next round? The quadrennial is about to end. Our boys are going to make their push into Tokyo. But, like, I think the guys like Chad Cohn, like, is going to retire. And right now at the one slot, from my perspective, and I've been around the league a little bit, I would say you're fucking 100% next up. Like, name another one in line that.
Out of all the ones that aren't already at the USA level, I can only think of two that we can be debatable by game by game. One is I don't remember his last name. He's Brian, plays for Phoenix Heat.
The thing is with him is he's actually a 1.5 that gets the 45 reduction.
No, he's a 1. Now he got the 45 deduction. He plays a 0.5.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So him and Jeremy Hannaford.
Dude, I've known Jeremy since I've been playing, just because Portland, Seattle's so
yeah, of
close.
course.
And like the thing with Jeremy, totally could. I don't know if he has it in him, and this is absolutely no disrespect to him, but because he went to that, I remember he went to one tryout,
I think he went to 2015.
and after he got cut, he's just like, dude, I don't know if this is for me, and I was just like, I don't know what you mean by that, man, like, and it's just like, I think he came to the realization like nobody's getting rich playing off of this sport, which is super unfortunate.
For sure.
'Cause at
Agreed.
the U.S. level, especially like how rich of a country that we like to think we are, we look at other countries like Canada and Australia and Japan and how they treat their Paralympic and even just club level athletes. I mean, you get a stipend. If you're a Canadian club athlete, you get a certain stipend because the government realizes that, hey, there's a certain benefit for keeping
active
these quadriplegics active.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
Moving, and like we don't have to pay for their medical bills when they're all broken down and shit because they're not getting out there and not moving around. And it's just, dude, it's just so strange how the U.S. just treats the disabled community where we're just like, we become a burden.
Oh, for sure. And I think that is I think like a big stigma, especially with the disabled community, is either you feel like you're in the way or a burden, or you feel like they pity you.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm okay.
This country is not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
It's like I expect, like we've traveled enough overseas where we see that shit. Like,
for sure.
When we went to Bali and they were like, "Hey, you can't go to this island. You can't get off the pontoon. Go to the
It's like, let me figure that out.
It's like, we'll be all right. Like, we got enough people with us.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be all right. Like, if they're like straight up, just like, no, you can't do it because
Captain said no.
We don't know what's up, and it's just like, I expect so much more from the United States of America because we're supposed to be the leader and everything that like all the other countries strive to be.
For sure.
But when it comes to certain things like that, it's just like,
I think that's just also I want to say it's just more how people are taught more than anything, being a parent. And I got hurt relatively, wouldn't say old, but
hella young.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely old by Latino standards.
Yeah.
Because, like, by now you should be grandparents.
Probably, right? But we did it right.
100%.
But
I know what you mean, man. Like,
growing up, we didn't really necessarily, if you think back on it, you didn't really have any kind of thought about the disabled community, That's
I didn't. No, I certainly didn't.
Because we didn't grow up with thinking about that, and I look at, Sua, I look at his kids and how awesome his kids are, around the disabled community.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's what Elijah needs to be, because he's going to grow up knowing that there's nothing wrong with him, and there's, not anything necessarily wrong with us.
Yeah.
But we did break something.
Dad is still dad.
Yeah, and he's going to grow up saying, like, okay, well, my dad's in a wheelchair, and he's done all of this, as opposed to, like, my dad's in a wheelchair, and he can't do shit.
Right, yeah.
And
but it's up to us to set that example.
Exactly.
Because we can't be that dad that doesn't do shit, that just stays home and just...
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have kids, you still set that example when... Oh, shit. And every time you go to the grocery store or something like that by yourself, and they're like, okay, shit.
Right.
And me being a prideful person, I would, when I first got hurt, I didn't want to go to the grocery store and ask for something I can't reach or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit.
I've been there before too, where it's just like, I'll be at the hair and shampoo fucking conditioner aisle, and it's like the one that I want is somewhere out of reach, and it's like, do I want to just settle for the one I don't want? I just want to just swallow that shit and just be like, I'll ask for help. You know,
Yeah,
don't be too
for sure.
proud to brag. And it's like,
So like, you know, I when I go grocery shopping on my own, I always just grab the basket and put it on my lap.
yeah, same thing.
Just grab what I need. And if there's something I can't reach, if there's somebody next to me, I'd be like, hey, excuse me, would you mind? And I've never seen anybody go, no.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah,
No, nobody's ever gonna do that.
No,
If anything, it's almost annoying to a point where like, and you probably get this all the time, where like you're transferring into your truck and they're like, hey, do you need any help?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't ever be a dick.
No, I mean, because the problem is if you're a dick to them, then the next person that might need help,
They're gonna say
they're not gonna ask him like, nah, last time I asked somebody in a wheelchair, he was a douche.
exactly.
So,
yes. I'm always pretty polite. I'm always just like, you know, hey, no, I'm all right. I got this. But no, dude, that's one thing that I've always just kind of like respected about you, and I feel like I want to like maybe contribute a little bit to like the rehab process that you went through with like Tampa and everything, but I feel like the next, because I don't want to like date myself too bad, but I feel like I'm like part of this older generation of quads, and I'll group myself with like Boley and all them, where I'm always trying to like usher the new guys in.
yeah.
But I don't want to fucking like pamper you guys. You know what I mean?
I don't need any pampering.
So like I'll call you out on your shit, you know, like if I see you like struggling to like push or transfer, I'm just like, come on now. You know? And it's like some people might look at it like tough love.
That's exactly what it is.
But that's sometimes the sincerest form, you know?
I mean, it's like Leanne used to get on me all the time because I used to always fuck with Birch.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, bro, why you always fucking with Birch? I was like, I'm fucking with him because I like him.
He's our little brother.
Yeah.
Dude, I always equate. I'm going to do a podcast with Birch. I'm his roommate during the PVA tournament.
You better get this mic so that way he hears a little more.
Yeah, I'm cranking the soundboard up. And then doing probably some post fucking upping. But no, man, like Birch, I've always looked at him like, dude, he's like our militia little brother.
Yeah, I mean, he is, for sure. He's
one of the youngest dudes. But it's just like the dude is just like, and he's also fresh injured and like that. And then it's just like, I don't know what it is about him, man. I love fucking with him.
And then
because he'll dish it back sometimes, which is refreshing. I don't know why, but like sometimes like I'll fucking talk straight smack to dudes. They won't talk shit to me, and I'm just like, the fuck, like, come on, like treat me like one of your boys.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Bird straight up will just fucking straight up.
He's a
hammer
good dude.
Back.
He's a good dude. I like Birch. So and I'm like, yeah. And then one day I go up to him like, Birch, you know I'm only fucking with you because I like you, right? And he's like, yeah, I know.
He's a character, man. Dude, there's just something I love about. I've honestly would have retired playing rugby in 2017 after I got on U.S. team and then got bumped up. I honestly would have just been fine just walking away from the sport. But what keeps me around is just fucking you guys and just being able to just fucking play a little of that mentor role, play a little of that big brother role, and just fucking. I don't know. There's something about that camaraderie, that sense of community, and like I mean, you get a lot of it when you're in the military because you're just like you're.
And when you get out, that's something you just kind of
you always miss. Yeah, you always miss, and it's just like I found it through rugby, man, 100%.
Yeah, I mean it's you have your older guys that play rugby, your good old boy club,
and
then you have the generation that you classify yourself as, and then there's a generation that I classify myself as. I've only been playing for 5 years.
Yeah.
And for us low pointers, the first 3 years is just developing a push.
Yeah, no, it's.
And then you learn the game.
It's tough as a low pointer because you're expected to know
everything,
every little nook and cranny of it because you need to be the smartest player, and. Man, like I was watching some game film with Bully earlier, and I was just like, dude, Joel has every fucking. Not trying to suck dick, but I was just like, dude, Joel can go far in this thing. Like if he just keeps at it and just keeps the right mentality, and also as long as you're having fun,
Yeah, and
like
that was one of the reasons why I left Tampa. When I left Tampa, it was just that year I just didn't have fun.
yeah,
I went to a few tournaments with them, and in the tournaments I just wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying myself.
yeah.
I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel that their culture was appreciative of somebody who loved the sport, wanted
Someone
to,
that's hungry.
yeah, and somebody who wants that's getting better, that's getting better every year, and they just didn't appreciate it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. If I play this sport with them one more year, I'm just not gonna enjoy myself, and I probably might just not play anymore. So I'm just gonna leave this, and that's when I went to go play with the militia.
Yeah, no, everything just clicked right, perfect, perfect storm. Like the team formed, and 100% glad to have you on board, man. Because when I left Portland, it was we were on good terms. I was just like, I know my potential and that like I'm gonna be a good player, but I just needed to leave to grow. And at the time, Portland was just so low point heavy. We had
Oh
some
yeah,
of I mean, we had Kip Johnson, we had Max Woodbury, and it was just like I don't have a spot here, and that's I met Shock. I want to say my first year at the Best West tournament. I just got introduced him because he was like, "Hey, he's a Marine, you're a Marine. Fucking go talk about being Marines."
yeah.
And me and Shock just fucking hit it off because we were both huge UFC fans. And I want to say that weekend was Fox had just signed that deal with, or
FS1.
no, UFC had just signed that deal with the Fox, and they did their the first UFC on Fox 1, Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos.
Oh wow.
And so me and Chuck were like, dude, yeah, oh, we're both fucking meatheads that love UFC. Let's watch this shit.
Yeah.
And um, we both were like knowledgeable enough. We're like, dude, JDS has a shot. Like if he keeps standing, he's gonna be all right. And then it was 60, 70-second knockout or something. Yeah. Poor Kane, dude. He hasn't had a good run on debut shows for that network.
Oh.
Because his ESPN debut, I think, was against Francis Ngannou.
Oh, and he got knocked out then too.
Yeah. Poor guy, dude. Because easily could be the best heavyweight. Just could never fucking dodge that injury bug.
That's how it is, man.
Killing it now in fucking WWE.
WWE.
But
Yeah, and
dude,
Mark
I
Hunt signed one too.
oh, did he?
Yeah, Mark Hunt. I believe he signed
Dude, he
with
still
WWE.
has my absolute. I'll probably go out and say my favorite UFC fight ever with Bigfoot Silva.
Oh shit.
The one that went to a draw, where it was just a bloody back and forth.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, Mark Hunt up to that point, like when he had that comeback win against Steven Struve, and then just the two fights he had with Silva were just fucking wars.
I like Mark Hunt. And that's exactly it. He's a warrior. He goes in there, he fights.
He's got the mentality where it's just like, because that's how he got discovered, was just barroom brawling, and they were like, dude, just you want to make money doing this, you're good at it, so here, come make some money doing
For sure.
it. Yeah, no, that's honestly, man, that's on what I really appreciate about you, because you have that like fighter spirit in you. Where like coming from me, like I was a mediocre lacrosse player, but I always kind of excelled in martial arts. Like
Yeah.
I did taekwondo from an early age, and probably would have really excelled at it, but we couldn't afford to like go to tournaments because
Yeah.
the big tournaments you had to go to like California or Las Vegas, and like all the regional shit I just would smoke guys, but would never we just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But just having that like fighter mentality where it's just like I'm just gonna fucking bite down on the mouthpiece and just go. And I mean I see you fucking all the time just training. Just it reminds me of me 8 years ago when I was just super hungry.
Yeah.
And like, dude, if you honestly, man, like if you stick with it, you can totally excel. And sky's the limit with this sport.
For sure. And I love the sport. I'm addicted to it. I was addicted to it as soon as I played my first game.
Yeah.
And then, pretty much since then, I've done it all year long for the last 4 years.
I was just talking with Bully earlier today about it, and I'm like, why do we still do this? Because he's 17 years in. He's about to hit his 50-50 this year. 50 years or 50%
Of his life.
AB, 50% cripple, and he's just like, it's the community, and that's what I realized when we were in Jacksonville. I was just like, dude, this is all about the community because we play, we compete, we talk shit and everything, but at the end of the day, it's just like we truly we're kind of invested in each other's lives. Where
I mean, yeah, for
guys on
sure.
our team, guys on other teams, like like I was talking with like Talbot Kennedy, and he was just like, dude, I love the podcast you're doing. I was like, dude, I love the fucking creativity of shit you're trying to make for with his handy accessories, like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
making fishing rods and like the strap, the rugby strap that he. I was just like, because that's the last thing with rugby I can't do. Like I can get into my chair, I can tape up, I just can't get my fucking straps on independently. My chest straps.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I came out with this ratchet strap thing, and I was just like, dude, this community is what drives everything. And it's really like, I mean, it was my gateway to independence.
For sure, mine too.
Right. Yeah.
For
You
sure.
just, I mean, like we were saying earlier, like it's a rugby team's going to have 40 plus years of real time quad experience. You're not going to get that anywhere
No,
else.
no. I mean, my therapist told me when he told me I didn't need to go to therapy anymore. He was like, "There's nothing else I can show you that you won't learn in this in just doing life, living your life."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're right, man. You're fucking right."
What, well, we'll end this podcast on this last question, but like, what would you say is going to just keep driving you for the next? Because it's 2020. The Paralympic tryouts have already happened. The team's been selected. Good luck to everyone. But moving forward for the next quadrennial, I fully expect to see your name in the hat in the big mix. What's going to keep you driving forward in the next like 4 years?
You know, I mean, the love for the sport, I don't see it dying anytime soon. Um, and hopefully just continuing to see people get selected that I know I'm better than, and I just got to work a little harder.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's driving me from now on. And, I see guys that I know for a fact that I'm better than on that list, and I'm like, shouldn't be there. That should be me.
All right. Well, there you go. You're fucking. If you're one of those guys, watch the fuck out. He's coming for you. We're gonna end it on that. Thanks, dude.
No worries, bro.
This has been fun.